Welcome to Los Angeles, Italia. We are at the Hollywood and Island Center in the heart of Hollywood, which is not the same of the past. Dear Diane McVicker, you can see on Hollywood Boulevard the few people walking over there. Although there is an Oscar around on Sunday, we're gonna have the Academy Award show this year. We have 3 Italian people nominated, so we are always very happy, but the situation does not allow us to be so happy. Welcome back, Daniel McVicker. You're actually staying with us in this event that we are organizing from a long story since 2006 at the Chinese Theater, and we are very happy, Daniel, to be there also this year, which is definitely a special year.
I was there in 2006 in Los Angeles, and now I'm here with Pascal, and it's partly virtual because it's online, certainly now with this, because we do extraordinary meetings with filmmakers and artists, but it's also on mymovies.it and eventive.org. You can see Italian movies here for a limited time, especially in America. There's a whole 163 films are being shown on these 2 platforms, but also in person at the Chinese Theater. It's very limited to get in. You can get 25% capacity. That's the max because of the situation right now. But we are going on. The show must go on.
Yes.
And it is
and look what a studio we have. Look what a beautiful studio we have. There is, for welcoming such an important guest that we have online. First of all, let me welcome the Oscar-winning director Billy August from Denmark, and the other maestro, Harry De Luca from Napoli. Actually, this is a very important meeting for me because Billy August was just asked to direct a movie from a book, Me and You. And with us, we have also Nicola Corigliano of Intesa San Paolo Bank, who's actually the main sponsor of Los Angeles, Italia, since 3 years, and we cannot thank enough Intesa San Paolo, which is the most prestigious Italian and one of the most important European bank to support culture, to support cinema. They're doing an amazing job. They are supporting so many production. Nicola, just don't worry, just say a few words in English to one that you can say, and then I will translate for you what is in your art, because this is for international our audience.
Terrible, so I think that it's better that you translate for me.
Yes,
but I try to speak English. Okay. Yes. In these last years, the activity in Italy is always increasing, and only in the few 6 months, we supported about 50 production between features and TV series. We believe that the cinema have a big problem for the theatrical, but this situation of COVID is like a booster for the production. And we are stiamo vedendo, we are seeing, no, looking, no, stiamo vedendo,
yes,
that there are a lot of new movie in Italy, and I think that this is the best years here in Italy for the production. 2021 will be the best year for the production in Italy.
Well, it's amazing, and it's very important that in a crisis moment there is a strong support, and Intesa San Paolo is definitely doing its part on this case, no?
Yes, because maybe that I speak Italian and you translate for me, so it's better. In questo momento si è modificato il modello di business.
So the business plan is changed.
E il cambiamento del modello di business e quindi dello sfruttamento inevitabilmente ha modificato anche il modello economico del settore.
Also the business schedule is also changed. The model, yes.
in questo nuovo modello economico il ruolo della banca è centrale.
And the bank became very important in order to make all these things happen.
Because aiuta i committenti broadcaster e OTT e i produttori a trovare il giusto mix tra quello che è un fabbisogno crescente di risorse per una sempre crescente qualità del prodotto e
So
la necessità
the bank became very important in order to put together the OTT producer and the classic producer to find a certain common points in terms of production.
Yes, because now the timing for the cash flow is longer than before. The OTT want to pay in 24, in 3 years, but you know that cash flow needs soon. So we help the OTT or the broadcaster and the producer to close the financial plane, but then the problem is on the cash flow plane. And there the bank is very, very important. And in this last period, we are studying together with OTT and broadcaster and producer the mix, and we assicurare, we assure,
you guarantee,
we guarantee to the producer all cash flow for this new production, and the budget is always increasing. So it's very difficult to find a producer that alone can be support this financial vessel.
So this is a very, very cool. It's very interesting. Thank you so much, Nicola, because your commitment to cinema and to art as well. I would like to remind the important job that Intesa Sanpaolo is doing with also the Galleria d'Italia, which is a project that converting old buildings, old and very historical buildings previously used as a bank, now to be a museum. There is one incredible in Piazza San Babila in Milano. Then you have another one in Torino, of course, because there is a Intesa.
Torino, they're building one right now, and they also have in Napoli.
In Napoli, and also they have in Veneto, and they are doing more and more. So thank you so much, Nicola. And let's go to the artist. Let's go to Harry De Luca and Billy August, who actually are not so much interested on what's going on with the money, because their job is to create emotions. And does money matches with emotion, Billy?
What was your question? Sorry.
Does the economic side matches with emotions, or you have to be very far away for being very creative and creating emotion?
You know, as a director, of course, you know that it's always expensive to make movies, and you are always in touch with the financing side, because you're waiting for the financing to get together. So you are depending on the money, and sometimes you have to make a choose can we afford to shoot in this location, or can we afford this actor? So you are very much, as a director, involved in the financing in a way, but creatively you have, of course, to be very clear. What do you want to do? What kind of film do you want to make? And how to manage to get there what you want. So it's connected somehow. And also, I would say it should be the same vision for the director and the producer to make as many people to watch what you have done, to reach a big audience.
So, Harry De Luca, be a writer, it's a complicated job in terms of money. Now you are like a movie star. Harry De Luca is like one of the George Clooney of the writing. But is it complicated at the beginning to be trusted as a writer?
Not so much, not so much. I just was well accepted since the first books, and so I went on writing the others. But in this case, this story, Tu mio, me, you, it's a very intimate story for me. It's something that regards my good and people that I met, and the main character Kaya was a girl that I knew and that I loved, and now she's dead. So it's a very private story, and we tried to organize a movie since several years with the open production, the Paolo Porrini Bisson. And now it happened, the connection with Mark Bikindu and Billy August, and that, I think that's the best possibility offered to this movie, to this story.
So, Billy, how did you discover the book, the Harry De Luca book, Me and You? And what did you like most?
Mark who sent me the book and asked if I was interested. And I read the novel, and I just knew immediately this is great. This is a beautiful, beautiful story. And I could see a film in there. And then I immediately said, I want to be part of this. Let's do it. Let's try to get it going. And right now we're working on the script, and I'm also very honored to meet the writer Harry De Luca now, even this platform. But I'm really excited about it, and I think we can make a really, really beautiful, intimate film. It's very emotional. It's very engaging. You know, it's a beautiful story.
I've had the pleasure of reading this material as well. And Billy, it's a very personal story and a love story, but a very young love story. Yes.
I mean, Eric can explain, but it's about the leading character, the boy. He's 16 and he falls in love with a lady or girl who's 20, and it's, you know, what's so beautiful about it, you know, it's this kind of first love experience, and there's an innocence to the whole story, which I find very, very beautiful. And innocence in a film, connection with film, is always very, very touching. Meeting the first love, you know, and how to deal with this kind of love. In Eric's novel, it's the leading character, the boy. He's Italian, but we had to change it. So in the script now, he will be British, but his mother is Italian. That's how he has this connection, and he falls in love with this girl, and it all takes place in beautiful Ischia. So we have to spend a lot of time there.
So, Harry, what did made you create this book? And I mean, I'm very happy because it takes place on one of my favorite places in the world, the Isle of Ischia in the Naples Bay.
Ischia for me has been the years of freedom. All my summers I spent in Ischia since I was just a little boy, little girl, a child. So Ischia for me is the place of my real contact with the freedom. And the first thing that we did when we arrived on the island was to move off the shoes and be barefoot and stay barefoot for all the months up until we have to leave and come back to Napoli. We stayed for 3 months on this island in the summer. So it was the pure freedom and the best lesson for a boy, for a child to meet the nature. So I have also the luck of being to help on a fish boat with a man that that was a real fisherman of Ischia, Nicola. Nicola learned me to fish, and Kaya went on the boat with Nicola and my uncle. So it's now this story is not more my story. Now it belongs to Billy.
And Billy, Ischia for you, what does it mean? Do you have the similar connection with nature because you're in Ischia very often?
Yeah, it's interesting, as Eric said, that you get this feeling of freedom. There's something original about it. It doesn't feel, even though there are a lot of tourists, but at the same time, it feels very, very true, very original. And I hope that the feeling of freedom that Eric is talking about, that we can capture that in the film also. And of course, the nature is important. And we will now go on some location scout and trying to find the most beautiful places on the island in order to capture that beautiful feeling.
Eddie, you are getting even more involved in cinema with your colleague and partner Paola Bisson. I mean, with the story.
The cinema needs stories, so it needs books, needs writers. But then the writing is just the start of something that becomes all completely different. Writing is a single job, and cinema is a collective work of many skills and many competences. And when I watch a movie, I want to look at the final names that after the screening, because I want to see how many people have worked to realize the movie. That's cinema. Cinema is signed by all the names written at the end of the movie. So I admire the movie and the cinema, but I remain a single isolated author that writes his stories in all by his own.
Giancarlo Leone, who's the president of the Association Audiovisual Producer in Italy. So we are talking with the two great artists, the Oscar winner director Billy August and the writer Eri De Luca. So Billy August, 2 days ago, we have been talking about the issue. The platforms are changing the approach to the storytelling because they need maybe longer version. Also, some authors were influenced, let's say, not in a positive way by working with the platforms, because considering the platform just needs a title and a brand to sell the product, then the author is free to leave the footage as long as he can, and is not anymore stressed to close the movie in a special length. So in which way you think that the platforms, Giancarlo Leone, has changed the visual of the storytelling?
Yes, thank you. I'm honored to be here with you, with Billy and Eri, and just let me tell, not because I'm Italian, but I think that Eri De Luca is one of the most important writers, not only in Italy, in all the world, and I love his works. And I'm happy to say this now because I've never met him before. So let me say to Eri De Luca that I'm really honored, also Billy, certainly, to see here Eri De Luca and to speak with him and with all of you. Just let me say that the role of the streaming platforms is certainly very, very important, and this and we can see this by how many works, how many series and how many films are produced in the world, but in Italy too, directly for them. I think that the most important thing, and this is not sure all the times, is that the platforms leaves the independent producers free to have his original ideas, to write them and to submit them to the platforms, and giving at the same time the correct rights, i diritti they have to hold during all the process. Because many times what happens is that the producer, that the platforms want to pay for the film for them or for the series, keeping all the rights or the main rights and excluding in this the independent producers. So I think that the problem is not only that if the authors are free to write, they have to be free to write, but also if the producers are free to submit those ideas, and they are free to produce in the best way, having the correct rights. This is, I think, one of the main problems.
So one of the first company in Italy to share time with the platforms to get hired a job by the platforms was Cataleya. We have here one of the founders of this company, Marco Kim, and also I saw so many times dealing very straight with the Americans. So actually, Marco, the platform changed your life.
Oh, they did. They did. It has been, well, good morning, everybody, first off. But yeah, it has been a wonderful ride so far. We started off with their first original series with Netflix. And we're now working, we have negotiations or contracts or developments with most of the others. It has been a great pleasure. It is a challenge. But I mean, it is so good that they arrived to Italy, and in some cases, after they had already rolled out internationally in other territories, in some cases, Italy was part of the first group of territories. Certainly, we need to learn from them, and I guess they need to adjust to the European environment. There are things that they belong, there are business models that they carry out, that they are brought from the studio system, which don't necessarily fit to the European model, and other things that are actually very interesting for European producers and talents to learn from. The studio model is very different. The studio model is in America is very simple situation where a commissioning entity says, I pay it all and I take it all. In Europe, there is a different system, and I think that it's important that the streamers come to terms with a more heavily regulated situation, and a situation where producers are not simply showrunners, and so they belong to companies that are independent and they cherish their independence very much, and where is a tradition of independent screenwriting, so that is also very, very strong. So, but look, it's I guess a reciprocal learning curve, I would call it.
Together with us, we have also an Italian director. Before there was two, now one is hired, but there is Carlo Carlei and Ivan Controneo. Hi guys. Carlo Carlei was raised as a director, international director, by Dino De Laurentiis. actually was kidnapped by Dino De Laurentiis to write. So we have here an amazing writer such as Harry De Luca, and we have an amazing director as well as you, Carlo, who's Billy August. So writing it's the main story to make either both a movie or a TV show, as you are doing now, the most successful TV show with Ivan Cotroneo. You have both working for RaiCom. We are very proud that we are showing at the Chinese theater and on the platforms, thanks to RaiCom, one of your show, The Fugitive, La Fugitiva, and La Compagnia del Cigno. So really, even we are also showing so many movies of yours this year. Carlo has been with us since the first Capri Hollywood in 1995. So, Carlo, let's remember when Dino De Laurentiis kidnapped you, put you in a room to say, Carlo, right.
You need to turn on your microphone. You're on mute. There we go.
Hear me well? But that was just one of the parentheses. You know, when you work in Hollywood, you just develop several projects, and somehow I got entangled with a deal with Dino De Laurentiis for a movie called The Last Legion, which I created from scratch, story, screenplay. And but Dino was quite a character. So at the end we clashed. I couldn't make the movie under the circumstances that he wanted me to do the movie with a low budget in Bratislava, but somehow officially the budget was supposed to be bigger, and it was a little bit of a messy situation. So I prefer to cash out and leave the project, because I know I couldn't do a good job. I always smell danger, and even if we became friends, when you get used to somebody, when you sort of become your butler, and you forget his artistic virtues, so to speak. So that I don't consider that a very good experience in my life. For one of those strange things that only Dino could concoct, the novelization of my script called L'ultima legione became a bestseller, and the author, made a lot of money out of it. So it's one of those, irregular things that happen at the once in Hollywood, but somehow now, they're more difficult to happen. People can screw you so much, even if you are a woman from a sexual standpoint, or if you are an artist. I applaud the fact that the people who are bullying their employees, are pointed out, and it's the end of an era. I know there was something very, very, I don't know, legendary and glamorous, and about those bigger than life characters, but there was a lot of there were dynamics that weren't so different than what happened in the mafia, in my opinion. So I think that even if we can go to some extremes, and you have very talented people like Kevin Spacey being a pariah right now, that he can find a job. I think that there was a need for some cleaning, some deep cleaning in the way people were behaving, were operating, and yeah, that's it.
So, Ivan, you are one of the most creative artists in Italy. you write many fiction, you write movies, you direct it, you always find the time to make something new. Where does your creativity come from? Open the microphone, Ivan. Hello?
Hello,
There we go.
here I am.
There we are.
Yes, thank you for everything, Pascal, and thanks most of all for the fact that you're showing my movies and my TV series over there. I'm very glad. And yours is a very good question. I do not have the answer. The only thing I know is that I like very much my work. That's about telling stories, even when I'm a novelist or a screenwriter or a director, and telling stories to people and trying to get them involved with what I write. For me is my way of talking to the world, to the people. I feel like I am always very embarrassed or at least limited when I try to speak with my voice. But when I have my written words or I have my camera and I can put images and words together, I feel happy. So I actually don't know. The only thing I know is that I always try to find new ways to tell my stories to people. So that's the reason why I wrote for other directors that I admire, such as Luca Guadagnino or Maria Soledad Tognazzi or Ferzan Ozpetek. I wrote movies for myself, and also I wrote and I'm writing TV series because I like very much as a screenwriter the idea of having so many time to develop your character and your stories, to have virtually the infinity possibilities of like dealing with twist of the plot and developing of the characters. So I think I will be an happy person as long as I will go on telling stories. And now there is, as you say, the TV series that's broadcasting in Italy on Rai Uno that's called La Compagnia del Cigno, the Company of the Swan. It's about 7 young students in the Conservatory of Milan, Italy, Giuseppe Verdi Conservatory. At the same time, I am editing a movie that's called 14 Days, 14 giorni, with just 2 characters in an apartment. And for almost all the things that I have done as director, I've worked with one production, that's Indigo Film. They are the producers of The Great Beauty and so many movies, and now also TV series in Italy. And I have with them a great relationship, because I think that now in these very days, a screenwriter and also a director has to be involved in all the question regarding how to get the budget, how to deal with the OTT for the rights and so on. So I think that the past antagonism that Carlo talked about with this kind of tycoon and the fights you had to have with them are now a thing of the past. Now the authors are trying to be involved more as creators in the industry, and so this means to work on the same side with the producers.
Even what do you think is the key to your productivity? Because you are so prolific, from novels to certainly film and television. What keeps you going? Is it coffee? Is it what makes you from morning to night do so much?
Definitely a lot of coffee, definitely, but also the fact that I am happy when I write. I realized it when we were in our first lockdown and things were so heavy for everyone and we were such in peril and we didn't understand anything. I actually was shooting like till 3 days before the the lockdown in Italy happened at the beginning of March. I was shooting till the Saturday before, just 3 days before. And I think, I don't know what would I've done if I didn't have my writing and the possibility of imagining new stories. It's like a mixture of surviving and happiness.
We are also here at the Tassis. We are in the Oscar week, a few hours to the magic day every artist is looking forward in this career. Shortly, we're gonna be also in Davide Donatello feeling because the Italian Oscar, they call it that, which is something in May, is gonna honor all the major movies, Italian movies of the past season. We are showing in Los Angeles, Italia, many of them. There are two that are definitely the major hit for you, which is Hidden Away, directed by Giorgio Diritti, and Bad Tales by the brother Innocenzo, as well as we are showing The Predators by Pietro Castellitto, and naturally Pinocchio, the Garrone's Pinocchio, and the Edoardo Ponti, The Life Ahead. So you are in movies since ages, although you are very young lady already. But I want to tell how did the Italian cinema is changing in positive, because definitely we are going through an amazing time with so many creative people and such a talented directors.
Yes, I want to remember you that before the lockdown, we had a very good moment for Italian movies and for Italian cinema and for the quota of Italian movies in our country. So if you want, there was a suspension and suspense during the pandemic, but I think the Italian movies and the Italian cinema is in a very good moment, because there is a new generation, and there is an international feeling, and all the directors and the producer try to have a relation with outside of Italy and try to co-product, and this is and to narrate international stories, local and international stories. So I am very curious to see what happened on the 11th of March 11, March, during the Davide Donatello evening, because I think that we will have some surprise, and we discover also new talent together with the confirmation of mastery and well-known directors. So I think we have to look at the future, and I think that the relationship with the relation with the platform, with the television production and the TV series, it will be very, very important and very interesting to look at, because I consider the world is changing. I consider that the cinema and the movies have the theater as the first home, the first room, and it's very important that the theater come back, because the real soul of movies are the theater. But I'm sure that we are going to change a lot and to find virtuoso, we say in Italy, relation with the new talents and the new language of the platform and the TV series and original movies. So it's a very strange moment, very interesting, and you have to remember that the production in Italy is in a great moment. All the theater closed, but they are going to reopen in a few days, quite reopening. But the production is very, very strong in this moment. So they never stop to narrate and write new stories. They never stop to produce new stories. So it's a very strange moment. The silence of the theater and the strong voice of the producer and the artist. So I am very curious, very confused as all the people, but it's a very interesting moment. We have to pass through and to look at the future. And I hope that David Donatello give us some revelation about this and about the future.
We are now watching some images coming from live from Los Angeles in Union Station, where it's going to take place, my dear Daniel, mostly of this year Oscar.
The presentation and the awards will be taking place at Union Station. People will be coming in shifts into the ceremony area and being in the outside area. Maybe you could see the tents right there. But Union Station is just east of downtown Los Angeles. While the songs, the nominated songs, will be recorded at another location, and maybe we'll see a little bit of that later. But this is the Union Station where people would arrive to Hollywood in the 20s, 30s, 40s by train to be part of Hollywood. And here we are celebrating the Oscars at the same location, which is virtually unchanged, at least from the exterior, as it was back then. You see the tents there. People will be going in and out during the ceremonies so that everybody will be able to keep their distances, and they'll have a safe ceremony. Everybody's tested multiple times. So the Oscars are going ahead. Los Angeles Italia Film Festival is going ahead, both virtually but also in person at the Chinese Theater, where the Oscars also at the Dolby Theater will have first responders there, firemen, nurses, doctors, people who've been in the front lines for COVID. Here we see the Saban building. This is part of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Museum. This is the former May Company, an Art Deco monument in the 20s and 30s that this was built, and it was a department store. It was acquired by the Academy several years ago. Renzo Piano has redesigned it, created a beautiful structure in the back, and in that structure is where the songs will be taking place, the nominated songs, including Laura Pausini.
Yes, and let me tell you, we're very proud that this building has been renewed by Architetto Renzo Piano, as you mentioned. But inside, into the Academy Museum on Wilshire Boulevard, you're going to find a lot of memorabilia of the Italian cinema. Of course, they picked up by the maestro of Cinecittà. There are so many maestros, and some lights will be provided also by the maestro of cinematography. So for sure, we're going to have shortly with us Dante Ferretti and Francesca Lo Schiavo, who actually won 3 Oscars, and they really have a big part into this museum. However, talking about the Oscar, we have with us one director who comes from Denmark, Maestro Billy August. Maestro, when I first came to Copenhagen, I went to visit Rivoli because I am a big fan of Hans Christian Andersen, and his poetry is in this theme park that is in the middle of Copenhagen. now you remind me in certain way Hans Christian Andersen, because you are a very romantic director, a very romantic man, a very mighty man. I can see you when I get you in my hurricane attitude. You always are calm and transfer to me calm. So how you and the other maestro, Eri De Luca, stay away from the hurricane that normally come from outside of your magic world doors? This is a question for you and for the other maestro, Eri De Luca.
I can only talk for myself. You know, if I get involved in a story, you need to have that obsession. You need to know exactly this is what to do, and nothing else counts anymore. And as long as you have this urgency, this necessity to do this thing you are about to do, then you exclude the rest of the world. It's just about focusing on that, and not all the surroundings and whatever comes after, and the glitter and glamour. It's just about trying to tell the story and how do you engage the audience. That comes down to as simple as that.
And you, Harry?
I have
How
been
do you
in my life
protect your integrity, your intellectual integrity from the hurricane that comes from the regular life?
I have been in so many hurricanes in my life that I feel at ease in hurricanes because I stay calm.
Makes you more creative today.
I am, myself, I am a quiet man, but a quiet man in the hurricanes. Out of them, I am normal, indifferent man.
So, how did your writing career started? What gave you the idea to make out of your life a writing job?
Because my writings depends on the life I pass through. My characters are persons for me are persons, not personal, not character. So I did not invent them. I exploit the life and the people I met, and I write some. And writing, I have the possibility to stay again with them. That's the best thing that happens in my writings, to be again with people that are no more there.
Carlo Leone, this world has still room for poets such as Eri De Luca and Billy August, or like a maestro of acting like Joe Mantegna?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I say that does this business has still room for this type of maestro with all, we are hurrying up to produce fast and fast and fast because we have so much material to deliver through so many devices. So there is still some room for poetry in this business?
I think that there is more room than before, because more channels you have, more kind of distributions you have. So now you have theatrical, you have the pay, you have the subscriptional video on demand, you have transactional video on demand, you have advertising video on demand, you have free, you have so many possibilities to give the possibility to the authors to create quality projects. And I can say that now it's more possible than in the past.
There is room for poetry also, you think? Because my opinion is that poetry is just missing something in this business. They want material that also pay back in terms of audience, and seems that the audience is going even more away from culture. Am I wrong?
No, I don't agree. I really think that the multiplication of the devices and the possibility to do some art, doing a film for the exhibitors, to do films for series for platforms or for broadcasters. You have so many possibilities. You have thematic channels, cultural thematic channels. So you have much more opportunities now than in the past. In the past, you had the box office of the cinema, and you had the audience of the TV in the past. So now in the middle, there are so many possibilities that these possibilities give really the opportunity for the authors and for the poets and for who believes in quality and culture to give much more than in the past. I really believe strongly in this.
Well, I just heard a few days ago by Maestro Terry Gilliam, here live from Hollywood, that he cannot find the money for his new movie. And I told Maestro Gilliam that he reminded me a bit the latest Federico Fellini, who actually, when he was pre-producing his latest interview, the interview, he was very, very upset because he could not find the money even through the Italian television. Then I was working as assistant of the Rai Uno director Carlo Fuscagni. I remember the phone call with Federico Fellini, who was very pissed with Fuscagni. Says, oh, what's going on? I am Fellini. Why don't you find the money for me? You produce so many stuff. So I asked this question, Giancarlo Leone, because this is a witness of Terry Gilliam. So Marco Chimenez, is difficult today to deal with a project that has not the speed that the new media requires.
What do you mean? They don't have the speed?
I mean that back to the poetry, because Terry Gilliam, his imagination, his fantasy, it's and maybe it's out of any idea of budget. Today you deal with budget. It's more. It's becoming more a business plan important than the script.
Well, I kind of subscribe to what Giancarlo was saying. I think that this explosion of media or commissioning entities will make the lives of the many talents easier. Now, yes, there might be situations where when this, particularly the streamers, when they grow. And they want to aim at a very mainstream audience that, you used to call in the past art house movies will be, or films or series will have a tougher life to be put together. But I think that over the next few years, we're going to see some differentiation between the streamers. You will have streamers at the very broad audience that will go mainstream and will be more pop than culturally elevated. And I think there will still be streamers that we have, a taste for, more difficult material, more elevated than. And there's always the cinema. Cinemas are not going to go away. They're probably going to play a role for, art house movies more than they've done in the past. I guess the middle of the road movies will have a tougher life in cinemas, as they already had in the last 2-3 years. But the big blockbusters and the art house festival movies will keep on having around there for sure.
Carlo Carlei, do you think that there is room today for poetry, or you are always dealing with budget as well? Because seems that the director job has changed. You have to be also a businessman to make your movie happen.
Well, it's very interesting, and it's a little bit more complicated than what was just said before. Because, for example, art house movie theaters don't exist anymore in America. Only in the last 20 years, 7 very important venues, closed down in LA, which is a different thing than New York, because there are still some great theaters that they're still open in New York, and they screen European movies. So it's tricky, because poetry can still exist even if it's kind of disguised. It's like the active principle of a pill. You have a lot of excipients of other substances that you need in order to get the real thing. And it's the same thing. It's up to the audience, to the critics, to really understand where quality is, and you may make something very commercial and still be very and still deliver something that has a lot of integrity, style, where you can easily recognize, the imprinting of the creativity of a director. Productions for the streaming giants don't necessarily have to be programs that are kind of conceived in a lab. I actually, I'm in love with Diesel, which is an Israeli series that is very successful on Netflix. Is in Yiddish and with subtitles, and people seem to be crazy about it. Tales from the Loop, which is a dystopian sci-fi series on Amazon, was very, very kind of elitarian in terms of creativity. That was beautiful. And none of the networks, or in America or in Europe, would ever have produced those shows. I don't know if those shows are a kind of a Trojan horse, to set the foot down and say, okay, this is our territory now, and then they're gonna make more and more commercial stuff. When you say Netflix, you say it's like saying the universe, because you find very shitty stuff and then you find very fine shows. I think that one of the problems is that no matter what they say about the algorithm, is that it's so difficult every time you go on Netflix. I'm going to watch something on Netflix, and then you're going to spend half an hour trying to figure out what to choose. I mean, that's something that sooner or later they have to solve. Because the quantity is so huge, and there is no selection, there is no guidance, there is nothing that, if not your guts feelings, that can tell you, I'm gonna watch this or about the theatrical experience. 8 years ago, somebody who's not a dilettante in this field, his name is Steven Spielberg, saying something very, very, very interesting. He said, in the future, movie theaters will still exist, but the experience of going to see a movie would be very similar to going and enjoy a big rock concert. It's going, like Avatar 2 or Avatar 3 or the next Star Wars, whatever. They're going to be very, very expensive piece of entertainment, that are going to be delivered in the most sophisticated, advanced technological way. But they're going to saturate the marketplace for a weekend or two. But the trend in the last 10 years has been that, even a blockbuster, the third week is down 70%. So this means that this pandemic has only accelerated a trend. There are no venues for art house movies. And certainly art house movies don't have the power, to go into a multiplex because of the cost of marketing and publicity. I made the Romeo and Juliet for 7 to 8 million euros, and to release it, a major studio asked us $25 million. I made it for less than 10, but to release it properly, widely, they needed twice as much, or even more than twice, my production budget. So it's a little bit tricky. So let's say that somehow, thinking that the American independent cinema, and I'm talking American independent cinema because that's only like the mirror of what is going to happen in the years to come everywhere else in the world. The fact that somehow with very few exceptions, but not so many few, because even Scorsese had to make, The Irishman for Netflix, has migrated. The independent movies have migrated on the streaming, channels, and that's something. So maybe there would be room for art house movies in theaters, in some small ones that they are mostly concentrated in big cities like New York or Boston or Toronto. But I see that the future is IMAX, giant IMAX screens everywhere, screening very expensive movies, and 100 inches TV sets in every house that would cost 2,000 euros in a few years, where people can enjoy art house movies as much as they want without the burden of if you have a family of 3-4 people, it's going to cost you $100 between parking, popcorn, and Coca-Cola, and the tickets to go to see a movie. So I think it's going to be more convenient just to stay home and not and do whatever you want. Enjoy the movie without the smell of the, it used to be popcorns with butter. Now it's nachos and shitty cheese that smells like horrible. And so I actually, as long as we educate the new generation to see products and in a way that doesn't impoverish it, like on a phone or a small screen, etc., I think we are okay. There would be always the need to tell stories, and there would be always the need, in my opinion, for poetry, for authors that are different from each other. Otherwise, because at the end of the day, the audience knows that something is derivative or it's original. And I think they're always gonna always gonna reward something new, something innovative, in my opinion.
Very good. We've been joined here by an actor from theater, certainly some television, but films, very important films, Joe Mantegna. Joe, are you there? We hear you. Joe, is there still room for poetry in this business? We can't hear you.
Microphone.
So it's kind of a silent poetry. We need to turn on the microphone here or there. Can you Joe? Can you unmute your phone? Unmute, he went. There we are. Mute, unmute.
It's on the bottom left. On the bottom left, it says, you'll see it. It says mute or on.
I have it. I have it.
There you go.
See? Fantastic. Thank you.
I'll give you the lead. And Joe, is there room for poetry in this business?
Oh my God. Yes, I think there will be poetry. I think those were wonderful comments that were just made. And my feeling is, like right now, I'm doing a new series on Amazon. And one thing that's impressing me is that because, you know, because it is streaming as opposed to being network television, they're able to say things, do things, show things, tell stories without any encumbrance, without any, without putting a censorship on it. So in other words, that's been enlightening for me, because I'm used to doing that in the movies, but in a television experience, I've never had that experience. So, I mean, I think that was a very good point that was just made. In other words, we're entering a whole new era now. I mean, and this whole COVID thing, I think, has accelerated it. But this whole thing of being able to, people are, you know, of course, I'm fortunate. I have a screening room in my home. But I mean, many people have a reasonable facsimile, and it won't be long before people will have one room, a wall dedicated to, you know, watching the visual arts, and be able to, you know, reach all kinds of material and product that's out there. And that's just, there's no avoiding that. I mean, and I think that was a good point too, that the only thing that will be left will be big extravaganzas where you have maybe possibly thousands of people all in one place to watch things on giant screens that you can't duplicate in your home. But beyond that, I think the history of the art houses and intimate art kind of driven stories will take place more in people's homes. And I think that's just, there's no avoiding that. And I think that's okay.
So, and also we've been joined by Bernard Hiller. Bernie, you're with us here. Now, you can tell us about teaching young artists and what that means to you.
No, but what is the feeling that you collect right now in this moment by all the international talents you are always meeting through Zoom? So you're making acting class through Zoom. I saw yesterday an event with 200 people. Congratulations. So you making also a big deal out of a Zoom masterclass. But what is the feeling of these people that are connecting with you from all over the world?
First, I want to say hi to Billy. Hello, Billy. How are you? And of course, Mr. Mantegna. I'd like to say hello to everybody here. I've been teaching an acting masterclass on Zoom, and it is incredible. I thought, how could you teach on Zoom? It sounds totally crazy. But for some reason, actors are more focused, and I can reach people from China, from Russia, from all over the world, all focusing on getting better as an actor, but also because of this pandemic, everyone seems to have an opportunity. We all seem to have an opportunity because of all the films. I have people who have been, as he mentioned, Schitzel. I'm working with a girl who was on Unorthodox. It's all the different people. It's become a level playing field. The actors are excited because there are 570 channels and they need content. And I also agree with the fact that we can't sit in our homes. I don't care how big the screen is. People are going to want to go out and meet other people. That's why we don't like the pandemic so much, because we're alone. So I like the fact that since the Greeks, we have gathered and seen things. How it's going to be, I don't know. But I think there's a new day coming and things have changed, and the actors are more energized. They feel more possibilities because all of a sudden some guy from Iran is auditioning for a part and he's getting it. It's unbelievable, the possibilities. It sort of made us flat. The world has become flat. We're all together now. It's not just Italian movies, it's movies. You got movies. We got people from different countries. We don't care about accents. We don't care about people actually reading in America. I didn't know they could read, right, Joe? Who knew they could read? But they're reading subtitles because you know what? There's great acting. I have actors in Casa de Papel. Isn't that like, have you seen that movie from Spain? It's like a killer. Then we have people who are doing Israeli films, but they would have never had a chance. They never would have had a chance to do that because it's like, oh, who would have put that in? So I think that there's a new day coming and the actors are energized. And I believe that we are never going back, but we're going forward. And I think it's going to be more opportunities for everybody. That's why we have so many diverse films from different countries. They got, you know, from Arab countries are nominated. I mean, where are these countries coming from? What's beautiful is talent cannot be squashed, and it's going to be seen and shown. And I would say that the actors are excited, and so am I. I think it's exciting. It's an exciting time. Things are changing. And when things are changing, humanity doesn't change. We still want to be together, and we want to hear stories, because stories teach us about ourselves and our humanity. And when we watch a story from another country with another language, we realize, hey, that person's just like me, because we all want exactly the same things.
Thank you, Bernie. So Ivan, are you there? If you're not there, I asked, okay, no, is Piera. Piera, Maestro Scorsese seems regretting that he had to make such a long movie for the platforms. I am sure that he was challenging himself with The Irishman. I remember the jokes that they used to make for him at the Oscars because The Irishman was definitely too long. So you think that the platforms right now are helping movie masters, or are creating a little confusion?
You're on mute.
I am confused. Reality is that I am confused in this moment, but I am also exciting, exactly as Bernard said. I am exciting because I am really tired of a year with dad and Teams and Zoom and to be alone and discussion and call. But at the same time, I think that is always interesting when the world is changing. So I have no answer. I know very well the position of Scorsese I met Almodovar last year before the pandemic, and he told me the images, the screen has to be bigger than you and bigger than the chair where you are sitting with a computer, with a PC. So I'm sure that there is a lot of, if you want, a lot of person that have nostalgia of the big screen. And in this moment, I think that the theater represents the possibility to escape of this reality and the dream and the image. But I'm sure that the future I'm not sure that I'm not agree with Carlo on the fact that the future is just the big event, the rock concert, and the big blockbuster, if you want, in the IMAX. I consider that the future in the theater will be the event. So this means that it will be something very a unique experience, if you want, to go in a theater. So it is good for the blockbuster or superhero or IMAX, but at the same time, I consider that is good also for the art house products, for the extreme movie, for the extreme experience of a little movie. And so if you want, is polarized, the experience of the screening room of the theater. So I really don't know. I consider very interesting the statement of Scorsese or Almodovar. I think it's very good, but at the same time, I'm not sure that we can go back to the past situation. And I think that my real feeling in this moment is I am excited, waiting for what happened in the future of the audiovisual industry and art. And for the poetry, Pascal, I don't think that the poetry will die or the art. I think that we need to tell stories. That is an ancient dream, an ancient need. So I think that all the many different situations will give us more opportunities, different opportunities, artistic and commercial. But I am in the same position with Giancarlo in this way. I am very open to the future. I consider cinema and series are two different way of expression, very different. But I love good series and I love good film. So, and I am interested to see how all these will go together in the future. I'm very open and excited. It's the good work. I am waiting for the future, and I think after the silence, after the anxious state of the beginning of the pandemic, and actually also because we are not so safe in this moment. But after that, I am very excited to waiting for the future. So I have a clear answer. I am a journalist at the start, so also at the end, I think. And for me, looking at what is happening is the more interesting thing. So I think this is a real interesting time. I know very well Carlo Carlei and Ivan Cotroneo. Ivan, for example, did a series at the same time, shoot during the pandemic, a movie, 14 days, I can say, I think.
Yes.
And so I think it's a fantastic opportunity, because during the pandemic, he's a workaholic, that is true, but and he used a lot of coffee. At the same time, a same artist, a same author, did a series for television, prime time, Rai Uno, as Carlo did, and I think an art house movie. So is a fantastic time. Terribile, not terrific, terribile and terrible and fantastic time, age that we live. So I use a lot of poetry.
Billy,
Sei sparito, ma dove sei, Pascal? Non ti vedo.
We're here.
We are here.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Billy, I know you have a movie on the table ready to be distributed. A movie which is a sequel or a prequel of Out of Africa, the incredible Milos Forman movie starred by Meryl Streep. Do you wish the movie to be screened on a big screen, or do you mind if it goes straight to the platforms?
Of course, for the big screen. But I think, as it was mentioned here, that going to a movie theater is also a social thing. And we should always remember that people, you can see that during the epidemic now it starts to open again. People want to go out, they miss the social feeling. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what it means to the movie theaters, how many people who are, because I think they're yearning, they're longing to experience that together with other people. But also, I think as a director or as a person making movies, this is a challenge. You know, I think it's possible to combine substance with the commercial side. I don't think it's two different things, and this is at least what I've been trying to do in the films I've done. Find a good story, find something that is meaningful, but then make it entertaining, and so it's possible to reach a big audience. And the film I just did, I really hope it will work that way. That's at least the intention I've had.
So, Harry De Luca, Billy August is gonna do shortly maybe a movie with the help of the producer Mark Bikindu from your book. So, do you have any specific suggestion to give to Billy August to make the realistic possible the history you wrote on a book to become a movie?
I trust him for his career, for his magnificent career. But in any case, when you, as an author, sell your rights, you have no rights anymore.
You are like that. You are so, mamma mia. You are an hero for. You are the person that everybody would like to, every producer would like to meet, because sometimes the authors are very protective of their opera. It seems that you are ready to leave your baby to the end of somebody who gives you money.
You protect your opera until you is still yours. When you sell it, you cannot protect your opera. You have to trust the directors and the movie.
I don't think neither Carlo Carlei and Ivan Cotroneo thinks the same of you. Carlo, do you think that Harry is right? I mean, do you agree with him, or you are more I know that you are different. You want to control it all the time.
You know, first of all, I never wrote a novel, so that's quite a noble, point of view, and it's also very realistic, because if you sell the rights, then the project goes through a labyrinth of different minds that are taking over. In my experience, in having developed more than 20 movies in Hollywood, there are writers, screenwriters, that they take a book, and the first thing they want to do is just to destroy it in order to make that their own story, their own. It's like it's just an ego thing. If you adapt an Harry De Luca novel, for the big screen, it's not. It's a kind of a literature that you have to show respect and passion about it. It's not. And that was, if you would give me the novel the way it was written, I would go on the set and shoot it exactly the way it was written. I didn't even need to go through a different format in order to get the movie, adapted. And then, you could give the novel to the actors with the dialogue the way it was written, it would have been perfect. So, of course, there are different cases, but in the case of Harry De Luca, I would show the utmost respect, for the material, of course.
And you, Ivan?
I think that Harry's point of view is very is very sane, and also I can feel it's very sincere. Actually, I had the opportunity to adapt my own novels and with other, and I had screenwriters with me because I didn't want to be too faithful to my novel, because I thought there had to be like important changes when the novel had to become a script. And in fact, in the team of screenwriters, I was the less attached to my own novel. But since I think that also when you write a script, I mean, you are the author of the script, and of course you feel attached to it. When I work as a screenwriter and give my script to a director, I expect to be surprised by what he does, by what he will do with the script. I mean, the best things I think I have done in movies with Maria Sole Tognazzi, with Luca Guadagnino, with Ferza, Nosberg, they surprised me because they were, of course, filming the script, but also adding things and adding their idea of the movie, their personal idea of the movie. And that's for poetry, Pascal, because I wanted to answer you before, and I had the problem with the line. I think that poetry is something that happens while we are busy making other things, making like trying to make our story original, try to make our view of the world interesting to others, and try not to make a movie or a series that's already been made. Then maybe poetry will happen, but what will surely happen is something original. I think that our aim, since I agree with the fact that now we have so many different ways of showing our movies, our aim should be to find that kind of tale, that kind of story that not only is not already being told, but also people and producers are not expecting it that way. It's like you should do something that is creating the story and also exploring the desire that's already unknown about the story. A story that someone read and say, I didn't know I was waiting for this story. And I must say this also, I am very optimistic because I can't read the future, as I mean nobody can, but we have as Piera says, we want so much go out of our homes. We want so much stay in a movie theater close to other people and laugh with them and cry with them, that I think that there will be surprises during the next months when we can do this again. There is a change, but I don't think that will be for the worse. I'm sure that we're going to a year, and I hope it will be more than a year, in which we will find again, even with the art house movie, the joy of sharing a feeling together. This already has happened actually in the years before, because some movies that were made for the platform, and I think like of Manchester by the Sea that Amazon did without thinking of a release, they were actually released because they were so good that people went to see in the movie theaters, and so I hope for the best, and I think that it's not just like an optimistic hope. It's kind of a desire that has to become true. We are just waiting to run there. This will be like something that go on, or just a reaction that will depend also on what we will find in the movie theater. And we hope to find very good movies and very good theaters when we get there.
This has been terrific, Pascal, because this is like a gathering of people that we usually find on Ischia on the island, or at Capri around the end of the year, or at Los Angeles during the Los Angeles Italian Film Festival, but now we're doing it virtually.
Yes, but we will be back live again in Ischia, July 18, 25, where all of you are invited. I wanna just say a few words to Maestro Joe Mantegna, who actually has been so wonderful as usual to joining us. I know he has to go to work. I hope that tomorrow you can find 5 minutes to be with us again because I want to go deeper with your, you know how much I respect and I love you. And
Thank you.
Also you, Bernie, either tomorrow or later on, because now we have a panel for Marco Pontecorvo, movies Fatima. Well, actually, Marco Pontecorvo is the son of Gillo Pontecorvo, but he's a wonderful director, a wonderful cinematography, and he did this movie that was produced for being theatrical, but then with the pandemic, it came out on platform. He's doing amazing. Netflix gave us the permission to show it at the Chinese theater. It will be tomorrow.
It's the closing film of the festival.
No, it's not the closing film. No. But will be tomorrow, and I know that already booking so many tickets for our theater Hall 6 at the Chinese theater. Now I want to close with Giancarlo Leone and Marco Kimmens, and then the last word to Giancarlo Leone about what Joe.
Io lavoro, io va a lavoro. Ciao ciao, a domani.
Grazie, I hope tomorrow, Joe.
Sì, grazie.
And Marco, it's the ideal situation when such a great writer says you, as far as you buy me the rights, then you can do whatever you want. It's the perfect situation.
Well, I don't know. It's as Ivan was saying, it's a very realistic approach, but I think that the basis is the basis of trust, and obviously as he said, trust Billy August, and who wouldn't? And I guess that's when you make your decision. There have been authors that decided never to sell the rights for film or television adaptation. And many other authors that do sell them, but they want to have a say in terms of who gets these rights. And I remember when we did the first film, Romanzo Criminale. I remember somebody asked Giancarlo De Cataldo, who wrote the novel, what he felt about the relationship between novels and films and then TV series, and he says you have to be, as an author, as a novelist, realistic about it. Whatever film you make out of a certain book, it is still, because it's a different form of expression, it's a different form of art, it's gonna somehow it's going to betray the book. Let's, he said, hope that this betrayal is, philosophically in line with the content of the book. And I guess that's what is important for both the novelist and the filmmaker.
Giancarlo, for you, the last sentences.
Yes, look, I remember when I released in Italy The Human Stain, from a novel of Philip Roth, you know very well. And I remember that Tom Rosenberg, the producer, told me that Philip Roth didn't want at all to say anything about the script. And so I think that I believe in the separation of the rules. There's a writer that writes his novel. There are screenwriters that write the script, and there's a director that's his work. So I think that they are separated. They are three different works, and I believe in this separation. So I appreciate what Eri De Luca said.
Thank you so much to Billy August, Eri De Luca, Marco Kimmens, Carlo Carlei, Ivan Cotroneo, and Giancarlo Leone. Stay with us a couple of minutes, and I'll be back with Daniel McVicar to meet a wonderful group of Fatima movie directed by Marco Pontecorvo. A few minutes. Thank you so much, guys. February 9, 2020, you can see at the Dolby Theater Leonardo DiCaprio walking on the red carpet just before entering in the Dolby Theater. It was the latest moment, the latest magic moment of the cinema industry, and as well as you can see Joaquin Phoenix and Mara Rooney. That was the walking ovation for Joaquin Phoenix, was the Oscar winner for Joker. This was February 9, 2020. Welcome back to Los Angeles, Italia 2021. And welcome back to my friend Daniel McVicar, who actually is with me the whole week to tell you the history of this year Los Angeles, Italia, a very special event for a very special year. No red carpet, no lighting, no parties, no music as we are used in Los Angeles, Italia, but a lot of sobriety. The same sobriety that now, after we started last Sunday, now we are seeing backstage of the Oscar, no, Daniel?
Well, you're seeing how open spaces there are. You're seeing at the Chinese theater, there's nobody. It's blocked out. You can't go see the footprints and handprints at the Chinese theater. There's a lot of security measures in Los Angeles for COVID, and the streets are mostly empty, which is unusual for Los Angeles. And certainly at this time, at this time last year, that street would have been blocked off. There would have been police everywhere. They would be preparing for the arrival of everybody at the Dolby Theater, but they can't do that this year. They're doing it at another location, at Union Station, which is just east of downtown Los Angeles, probably about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the traffic, by car from the Dolby Theater.
Yes, absolutely. We can see now. It was, I think, imagine it was the Hollywood and Island Center, which is as empty as the yes, we can the TCL Chinese Theater, where we actually are very proud to be with the Italian cinema. As you can see, our brand is on the main banner after Godzilla. It seems that Los Angeles, Italia is the biggest deal in Hollywood right now, but we are very proud of it. I have to tell you, I have to thank Mariella Mejarini and Luca Riemma, who are actually doing an amazing job welcoming people to the Hall 6 of the Chinese, where the festival was born in 2006. I remember, you know why? Because it was the same year of my son Matteo born.
Your son was just born then, he's grown up. The festival keeps growing as well. I was there in 2006 in Los Angeles. I'm glad to be here with you now.
Yes. So we have been around with Matteo Guidoni on Union Station, and on where actually Daniel was going to happen.
Well, at the Union Station, this is where they're going to actually do the presentation for the Oscars. The nominees will be there. They'll be arriving in shifts. They'll be moving them in and out because of social distancing. They cannot fill the rooms. So about a third of the people will be inside for the ceremony at the same time. And then they'll be outside in under the tents and in different sort of holding areas, if you will, which may be very pleasant for some people who will be able to actually get up from their seat once in a while. But it will be also very interesting to see on television because it's going to be there from the Union Station live. They'll be doing the songs at another location, some of them pre-taped. They'll be at the Museum of the Motion Picture Arts and Sciences down there at Wilshire and Fairfax, not too far from CBS, I must say. It's right down the block. The Saban building is there. We see the former May Company, the Art Deco building there that has been transformed by Renzo Piano into a new work of art almost 100 years later after it was first built. And they'll be doing the songs at that location underneath this beautiful dome, as I understand it. Now, things are also, we don't have all the information because it's all coming together as they need to do it. So the Dolby Theater will actually have an audience in it, and this will be the first responders, the nurses, the doctors, the firemen, people who have been in the front lines against COVID and other things. And so they'll be doing it, seeing on the screen the Oscars, but the audience will be the first responders at the Dolby Theater.
Yes, and we are very proud that we are showing the Chinese theater 3 movies a day, starting at 4 o'clock. Then with the health protocol of the California state, we are having 1 hour stop for cleaning the room, for sanitizer. How do you say?
Sanitize.
Sanitize the hall, and we are happy that we keep the Italian cinema alive in Hollywood, and we hope that this is a good sign for the Italian cinema even in our country, because in Italy we will start to live again thanks to the new rules that Premier Mario Draghi has proposed now. We're gonna have more possibility to go around. We're gonna have more possibility to have shown movies at theater, half of the capacity of any hall, and we're gonna have really the possibility to have a live show again.
The cinemas are opening back up, and you know what's been interesting, because we've had some tremendous guests, tremendous panels here. But what I've learned through this process is that actually 2021 has been a big year in production in Italy. International productions have come because Italy put in the protocols that were necessary early in order to keep shooting films. And so Italy has been a place where people have come to shoot their movies.
Yes, and today's program is very rich as usual. You want to remember what are the movies?
It's starting at 4 p.m. with The Predators. Pietro Castellitto, his film will be at 4. At 7 o'clock p.m. is The Comeback Trio. This is directed by George Gallo. George Gallo did Midnight Run. He was an author of that, but this film stars the same actor from Midnight Run, Robert De Niro.
But gentlemen, you are American, but they are Italian-American. This is the reason we show it. Otherwise, what is going to do with Italy? Because we celebrate Italy, but we also celebrate Italian-American heroes, because the industry of cinema in the States is full of Italian-American heroes, and we started with the Mr. Jack Valenti, that was the president of MPAA, but we had so many, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Liza Minnelli, Vincent Minnelli in the past, and now more recent we saw DiCaprio, but we have plenty of maestro, no?
And Robert De Niro is really, for every actor, the leader of all actors now. And this is a funny movie. This is a comedy also with Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones.
But we are talking tonight about a movie that is going to be the closing movie of Los Angeles, Italia. This is a movie that I really care a lot, because it's done by a young and talented director. I keep calling him young, although he's not young at all, because the years does not go through just for me and you, my dear Daniel, but also goes for Marco Pontecorvo, who happened to be young once upon a time like me, but now Marco Pontecorvo is as old as we are. Not really.
He's still a kid to me.
And you know, he's considered a master of cinematography besides being a director. Look, the worst illuminated in the Zoom is one of the best cinematography. Can you believe? Ciao Laura De Licoli.
He doesn't need to impress.
Fondazione Cinema di Roma.
He doesn't need to impress. We need to impress everyone. Like, I can do a good shot. He doesn't need to.
A little bit of backlight there, Marco.
Much better. Now it's much better.
There we go.
No, but he doesn't need to impress. No, he needs to impress. Excuse me, you are an international actress, but we really care about the look of one of the best ambassadors of contemporary art. And considering his legendary father was very vanitoso. How do you say vanitoso?
Proud.
Proud of his beauty, Gillo Pontecorvo. Laura De Licoli, how was Gillo Pontecorvo, the legendary Marco's father? Very vanitoso, no?
Very vanitoso.
Tennis player.
Very much.
His main job was to be a tennis player. Then he was a politician, activist, and then when he had nothing to do, he was doing some good movies.
always with a pencil in his pocket. Do you remember? Huh?
Actually,
So been for a long time one of the best Venice Film Festival director ever, no?
Yes, one of the best and one of the much loved, I think, in Italy, and not only in Italy, all over the world. As Marco can tell us now, that's in America. It's very, very loved, Gillo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Marco, do you wanna introduce us your friends?
I will. First, I just to say that he was also a composer. It's because you are celebrating Ennio Morricone, that for us was almost like an uncle, because he composed the music of my father movies, and I think two of them they signed it together because he was composing. I mean, actually, he was whistling, and Ennio was writing later. So Paolo knows the story. Paolo is the composer, so I start from him, talking about composer. He's the composer of the music of Fatima. Great composer. We had a very good experience together. Then we have Lucia Moniz. Ciao, Lucia.
Ciao.
Great actress. She is the mother, so one of the leading role in Fatima. And Stephanie, she's actually Lucia in the movie, and she's the protagonist of the story, basically, with the other two cousins, but she is the main, I mean, because everything is seen through her eyes. So that's the reality. So Stephanie, what do you want to say about your experience?
I think that I'm so happy seeing your faces right now because I haven't seen you in a while. But I think it's been such a great experience for me. It's been a learning experience as well because I've learned a lot from everyone, like Lucia, Marco, like all the cast and crew. And I just had so much fun. So.
And Lucia?
Hello, everyone.
I'm stealing your job. If you want, I stop.
What? Was it for me? No.
No, I said to Pascal, I'm stealing his job. So
No, I'm very happy. Also, if you are introducing your co-producer, Jeanne Bernay, it's my pleasure to have her here. So you keep hosting. You're doing a very good job. Go ahead, Marcolino.
Okay. Thank you.
So yes, well, it is a pleasure to be here and actually see you, Marco and Stephanie. I haven't been seeing you for so long. It's so good to see you. And I keep the memory of shooting Fatima in my heart. It was a great experience. I've learned so much from you, Marco, and you know that. I mean, my character wouldn't be what it is on screen if it wasn't for Marco and also other crew members. Marcella, this dialogue coach was very, very important as well. And of course, my connection with Stephanie. I've learned so much from her. She doesn't realize that, but I did a lot. I remember one scene that it was really, really hard scene. I mean, I will not spoil anyone but that it was very difficult because it had violence involved between us.
Yeah.
Well, more from me to you, anyways. But
exactly.
I was destroyed. I was destroyed when I arrived home. I was really heartbroken and I felt uncomfortable and I was really, really not feeling well. And I get a message from her, a voice message saying, "I had so much fun doing the scene today with you." And then I was like, of course, that's what it's all about. It's actually focus on the good, on what the good that we can bring out of the scene and not suffer with it, but take it.
Yeah, and actually it was one of the first scenes.
It was the first scene.
It was the first scene.
The schedule is always against us. I remember once I did. Was the first day, and so I didn't know very well the actress, and was straight to a striptease. complete strictness. So, and she was to dance in front of a computer. Was so embarrassing for all of us because we didn't know each other. And so this kind of scene always, I don't know why, happened at the beginning of the schedule. So everybody doesn't know each other, and
I know.
it's like that. Paolo, what about the music? First of all, everybody knows the story, I believe, of Fatima. Fatima is a real story. It's a miracle, and the church basically say that was true, and they and three little shepherds sees the apparition for 6 months in a row of the Virgin Mary. At the last apparition, she provided a miracle called the miracle of sun. So the sun was basically changing color, looking like it was falling down on the earth, and then going back in place, proving that what she was saying since the first apparition, that everybody has to stop doing, because it was during the First World War. So she was asking for peace. Basically, the message of the Virgin was, let's stop this madness of the war and make peace. Otherwise, if we don't change, another war will come. Unlikely, the Second War arrived a few years later. So this is the movie, and actually we tried to keep both point of view, the point of view of the believers and the point of view with Harvey Keitel, and his character is a professor, is a skeptic, and he is not a believer, and he has a confrontation with the old Lucia, so the character of Lucia, Stephanie, Sonia Braga is playing her, and they have this dialogue that basically bounce and illuminate the other story and make you understand a few things, and especially the point of view of not believers and like on the story. But we did it because we think that for everybody, even for not believers, this story is very important and bring something, a really important message. And who doesn't want the peace, first of all? That's the question. And how to behave, and etc., etc. So the strength of a little girl that managed to also, I mean, she was also trying to be free and to say what she was believing in. So many things. I think it's a movie that poses a lot of questions, including doubts.
Yes.
Paolo,
Marco,
do you want to say something about your music?
Before we go with Paolo, 1 second, before we go still on Fatima, let me welcome the Italian Trade Commissioner, Alessandra Reynaldi, the new one in Los Angeles. I did not meet her in person. I did not have this pleasure, although Los Angeles, Italia is historically very close to the Italian Trade Commission, ICE, and also this year we have them with their sole participant to this important mission, which is representing Italy abroad, because this is all about art, but also business. And when we talk about business in Italy, we talk about the Italian Trade Commission. Alessandra.
So thanks, Pascal, and good evening, good morning, everybody. As Pascal said, I'm really new here on the Los Angeles set. I represent the Italian Trade Agency here in Los Angeles. You know, the Italian Trade Agency is the governmental agency which is in charge for promoting the Made in Italy. So Made in Italy and Italian brand is, of course, also in the promotion of the Italian cinema and audiovisual industries. What we do is to promote 360 gradi, 360 grades here in the US market, the Italian industry in the cinema and the audiovisual. We have a promotional desk dedicated And we work in two directions, I would say. First, we promote participating to the main opportunities of promotion, like American film market, like Kidskin. So many initiatives in which we can participate, bringing the Italian industry, Italian producers, and Italian distributors of Italian cinema. But at the same time, we attract the production, US production and co-production in Italy by promoting the legislation, so that the Film Commission in Italy dedicate to the production. At the same time, we attract a delegation of US producer, co-producer, and of course press to visit Italy, our territory, and see how this land can give really an opportunity to make the dream real, no, and concretely invest in Italy in the production. So in the next months, we will lead a delegation during the festival, the summit, which is organizing in Basilicata, in Matera, in July, with a very huge delegation of American producers and specialized press in cooperation with Anica. And of course, we cooperate with all the industry, so with APA, with DOC, with Cinecittà, Luce, with all the actors that lead the Made in Italy in the industry sectors abroad. We are now also very glad to go to give our support to the old Italian festival like Los Angeles, Italia. In a couple of hours, we will be in the China Street for the closing session, Pascal. So we appreciate this week. I think it's a very huge contribute that you gave to the city. Also, we start to our new normal life, you know, and I think the contribution that the cinema can give, the Italian cinema can give to this rehabilitation of our life, it's very, very important. I would say also that the pandemia was, of course, it was a very huge challenge, but at the same time, it was also an opportunity, no? To discover other way to take part of these movies. So I was thinking about the increasing that we had in the streaming and in the digital platform, in which we hope to stress day by day the Italian production. Where we can have a look about the abilities, but also the beautiful land of Italia that we want to promote. So very happy to be here and to learn about this industry.
Thank you so much, Alessandra. And let me tell, before going back to Fatima, the movie, with the two ladies of the movie, let me tell you that the Italian jackpot, or female jackpot in Los Angeles is done. The female got strike because now the three leading people of the Italian system are three women. Because we have Alessandra Rinaldi on Italian Trade Commission. We have Silvia Chiave as a consul general. We have Valeria Rumori as a director of Italian Institute of Culture. In addition, if you're missing some ladies, we have Laura Delicoli, who's actually taking care of this other event that is organized by Italy, very important, in conjunction with the American film market. They have Cinema Italian Style, who's directed by Laura. So the female influence in Los Angeles, the Italian, is not only by the legendary figure of the Mamma, you know, the famous Italian Mamma, but also now become the famous Italian executives, Laura?
Sisters. We are Italian sisters of cinema. So, no, it's a joke, but I'm very, very glad, and I'm only...
Laura, sorry. No, and I want to add that I want to congratulate to another lady, Chiara Sbarigia, who's
Yes,
actually
Chiara
named
Sbarigia.
president of Cinecittà. So one more lady.
It's the ladies' power now.
Yeah.
It's a big season for us, finally. But no, I'm very, very glad to see Alessandra. That's the first time we are together in a Zoom. But I hope this year we are coming back. We are going to come back really in presence to LA. As last year, we had an edition only on a platform, but with many towns in America with our movies, and was important to be there at the same time. Pascal now is in a little miracle for us. Is very important to be there in these days, as every year, but as usual, but more this year, as the pandemic is the problem of our distance. So I'm not so glad to have not the film of Marco Pontecorvo in Italy, as I was talking.
Laura, Marco Pontecorvo deserves a Nastro d'Argento special, because Marco Pontecorvo, yes, because
he's absent.
For his skill is popular all over the world. And
yes.
his movie Fatima, co-produced with Jen Burney, is one of the hit on Netflix. So Marco is a very silent guy, but always very productive. So I think that he needs attention. Unfortunately, the movie was not released theatrical. But I really hope, Marco, that we can invite both Lucia and Stephanie, as well as Jeanne and Paolo Bonvino, of course, to Ischia to show theatrically your movie to the Ischia Global Festival. And of course, you'll be honored if Laura cannot deliver to you a special Nastro d'Argento. You will get the Ischia Mermaid for sure.
So I'm ready to come and see the
Thank you, Pascal. Anyway, actually, I have to say that in US it will be released for the second time. That is really rare, because it's already on Netflix and it's going very well also there, as you say. Then did well for paying ticket in platforms before, and now it will be released on the 7th of May. In theatrical in US. So we are very happy, because it means that they love the movie. The circuit, ACM, really trust and love the movie and support the movie. That's why they are doing, as well as Jeannie and Bob Picture House, that is our distribution for sure. But together they did a very good job. So we have a second chance, even if the first one went very, very well, because we did well also in the box office. That was not the box office theatrical, because they were closed, but on the platform with paying the tickets. So very happy for that. Paolo, we give a moment. Paolo, do you want to say something about the music and
where
what
is Paolo?
Music?
Where is Paolo? We lost Paolo.
Here, he's under it.
I beg your pardon for my English, okay? Because but a few words. Composing music for Fatima was an experience for me, a strong spirituality, and not just only a work. And Marco's direction and the relationship with Marco gave me the opportunity to have a wonderful experience that I need personally, and maybe is an experience that is in the film. Is an experience
aiutami, lo dico in italiano, un'esperienza che è differente e che tocca degli argomenti di cui credo che tutti abbiamo bisogno.
Experience that touch the argument that everybody needs to focus on. Let me ask Lucia and Stephanie how this issue that Paolo Bombino is talking about made influence on their spirituality shooting these Fatima movies. Stephanie.
Well, I think that shooting Fatima really, like, I think it was such a great experience because I learned so many things, not just from everyone, but from Lucia as well. And there are so many things that I can apply now to myself. And I think I really did change my mindset after filming Fatima because I just had all these, like, you know, great memories and different advice from everyone. And I think that Lucia is just such a great person and character. And I just learned a lot from her. What about you, Lucia?
Lucia said she learned a lot from you,
Yes,
Stephanie.
I
Stephanie,
did. It was very special to me to go through this script and realizing that all this the story about this three shepherds and the miracles, it goes beyond religion and it covers and speaks for faith as being a way of how far do you go for love? What are you capable to do for love? Even the connection in family-wise, and it was very interesting to bring those reminders. As my character being the parent that doesn't believe her daughter, believes in God, but that doesn't believe her daughter. So it goes beyond of not believing in a miracle. Is not believing her daughter, which I thought it was very important to focus that also in the film of what the role of a parent should be, and it was very interesting for me to dive. I am a parent of a 16-year-old daughter, and it was very, very interesting to go for that.
your experience working in this movie, did that change your relationship at home with your child?
You're asking me if it changed?
Yes.
It didn't.
Lucia,
No.
I have to tell
did.
you, Daniel is in love for you since he saw the movie that you did with Colin Firth.
Love Actually, of course.
He has been talking all day about you. So maybe next time you make a movie with him instead of Colin Firth.
Well, it didn't change the way it didn't change. But what changed in me was I was my vision about this story of the miracle. I was very, very much skeptical, and I still am in some issues about what happened. But the point of view that Marco and Marco Pontecorvo, the way he told the story, I think I actually told him once during a break that I said, I think if it happened the way you're telling the story, I believe. Because it's actually a way of telling down to earth. It tells a story not in a spiritual way. Of course, it goes there, but it talks about the what family went through, the family relationship, the consequences around
about human beings.
Exactly.
And their relationship. What is transcendent? I mean.
Yes.
How they relate to that. That was also the thing that Paolo was saying. How do we all relate to something spiritual and transcendent out of us, connected to our real life and our real who we are inside of a family, inside of a village, and everything. So it's really, but actually, is what I think. I mean, it's my point of view. The first at the beginning, I said, "Are you sure?" to the producer. are you sure that I'm the right man? Because I don't know if I can do, but it was much more a religious and literal movie. So this is the story, and we are telling this story. There were no Harvey Keitel character, there were nothing about that. Then we brought that inside because I rewrote it, and then I start to believe to the story and the importance of the story anyway. If you believe or if you don't believe, it's okay. It's important anyway. It's about, if you don't believe, it's about a girl that fight everyone to say that this is the truth, and to put together, like without internet, without phones, anything. I don't know, 700,000, was two wheels full of people praying for peace. That's enough. Even if you don't believe.
Marcolino, the last question I have for you is this one. Being a Pontecorvo, we use a very name, because your faith of your father is popular, a real communist in the positive way of the word. So how did you approach such a holy personality character such as Fatima?
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the beginning, and thank you for Marcolino. That means that I'm still young, and I like it because we know each other since so many years. That was my first problem. I'm not part of any religion apart from the fact that my mother is Catholic and my father is Jewish. So also there is a combination of factors quite difficult to put it together, and plus I'm not going to church, and at the beginning was a really religious movie, and one of the thoughts first of all was to myself, who I am to relate with this story, but also my family is so different. My father was so different as well from that, but then we found a middle ground where everything managed to stay together. And actually, I've been comfortable inside of this story, inside of those characters. And there are a few things that, for sure, are difficult, a little bit more difficult to digest. But because I have to respect all the point of view, and this was the tricky part of my work also inside of the story, then it's okay, and you have to embrace all of them, understand them, and put it on a screen to let the people and the audience judge later where to stay and what to take from the movie. I hope I answer your question.
Yes, absolutely. So I really thank you, Marco, and Jean Bernier, to give us the privilege to show theatrical Chinese theater along the Los Angeles, Italia, your amazing movie Fatima, and the invite for Ischia Global Festival July 18-25 is on since ages, and I hope Lucia can come as well, and also Stephanie. Lucia can come so she can meet Danny McVicker, who is enchanted by...
I think I'm not alone. We all love you. I think the whole world fell in love with you. So.
But let me thank also Laura De Nicolli and Paolo Bonvino. Actually, Paolo, you deserve an Ischia award for being such a great composer. And I really admire you a lot since ages, and I'm happy to meet you for the first time on Zoom, but shortly I'll be happy to welcome you in Ischia. And you see also Matteo Guidoni, who's actually working for us in Los Angeles. He is covering as a correspondent for our show. Matteo, how is the situation? So you know that when you leave us now, you got to go around because we got a show later what's going on. You can show now. Fate vedere un po' le immagini di Los Angeles, quelle che ha fatto. You
Of
can
course.
show
So,
on
ciao,
how is
Pascal.
the
Hi,
situation in Los
everybody.
Angeles.
And
Very
yes,
empty
as you
town,
said. Okay. So hi, everybody. Again, as you said, the atmosphere in Los Angeles is not the usual Oscar atmosphere. There are not many red carpets or, structures, people working, building stuff. It's not like that. I've been at the Dolby Theater, at Union Station, at the Museum of the Academy, and it seems like almost nothing is happening. Of course, you see the structures, the white structures is where the Oscars, these ones, where the Oscars are going to happen at Union Station. But that's what you see, not very much more. There are no, big Oscars outside. There is not the usual party atmosphere that we can see every year on Hollywood Boulevard. And as you also said at the beginning, usually at this time, Hollywood Boulevard is completely blocked. There are several blocks where you cannot access if you don't have a badge. While right now, in front of the Dolby Theater and at Union Station, you can easily walk, and it seems like almost nothing is happening. Then, of course, I tried to get closer to that white tents at Union Station, and that's not allowed. So you can't take any picture. You can't, of course, get in. So you can easily understand that something is happening, but it's really downgraded, let's say, compared to the other Oscar years. This has been a tough year for everybody, and the Oscar, I think, are going to reflect what has been for everybody in the last 12 months.
Ricevere questi premi. La storia della vita davanti a sé e il personaggio di Madame Rosa sono entrati nel mio cuore il momento in cui ho letto la sceneggiatura. Ma non solo per l'importante messaggio di tolleranza, empatia e umanità, ma anche perché racconta una bellissima storia di amore e amicizia tra due persone che in superficie tutto separa, ma che sono in realtà legati non solo attraverso il dolore e la sofferenza, ma soprattutto la speranza e la resilienza. Questo anno è giunto al suo termine. È stato un anno difficile. È stato un anno di perdite e dolori, ma è stato anche un anno in cui abbiamo visto persone aiutarsi e tirarsi su nel più bello e inaspettato dei modi. Questo film parla di questi momenti di umanità tra di noi, questi momenti di compassione, di amore, tutto ciò che ci unisce e ci rende più forti. Grazie. Grazie per questo riconoscimento. Vi auguro a tutti un anno pieno di luce, amore e serenità.
Sometimes in life, things just come your way and you just can't make them up. And recently, I was asked to make a brief statement about Sophia Loren. How do you make a brief statement? There are none. I could make a 4-hour documentary about Sophia Loren, and I have not. This volcanic woman who has graced the better part of all of our lives, who has been a role model to women for close to 60 years, who has literally galvanized the film industry, the global film industry, who galvanized the fashion industry 100 times over. I'm just somewhat at a loss when people ask me to make a brief statement on Sophia Loren. I mean, Sophia Loren redrew the landscape for women all over this planet. In her latest film, which she made with her son, Eduardo Ponti, which you can see, There isn't a single issue in that film that is not at the forefront right now of global debate. Not surprising, because Sofia did this 60 years ago. And it was singular, it was unpopular, and it was alone. And it was her own. Sofia, God bless you always. You have changed all of our lives for the better. Do not ever stop being the utterly unstoppable you.
Wow, what an amazing tribute to our most iconic, I mean, the legend of the legends. And this is the reason, I suppose, the Academy decided to honor Sophia Loren with the Visionary Award that will be delivered to the legendary Sophia on the day that they will officially open the Academy Museum. So we have with us the past Academy president, one of the most beloved person in Los Angeles. I mean, one of my favorite people I ever met, Cheryl Boone Isaacs. And I think that was no better idea to open the museum with such a tribute to Sophia Loren, no, Cheryl? You have to open it.
You're on mute. If you could open your audio, Cheryl. There you go. I think we can hear her now.
Me now?
Cheryl, you there?
Yes.
Yes. Commercial, doesn't it? It sounds like a commercial. Can you hear me now? Thank you so much, Pascal. And I'm thrilled, very thrilled to be here, and very thrilled that the Academy is recognizing the ever great, wonderful, most beautiful Sophia Loren. And what a wonderful tribute to her and to Italian cinema to have her on the opening night gala of the museum. So I do look forward to seeing her there in September.
Oh, we say the legend of the legends. Sophia is unique, no, Cheryl?
She's more than unique. I mean, first of all, is anyone that beautiful? I do remember when I was much, much younger and seeing two women. And I thought, to be so gorgeous, so graceful, such a fantastic actress that I just have never through the years ever forgotten. I mean, she's at the pinnacle, she's at the top of beauty, and beauty from inside as well as outside, and a tremendous, tremendous talent. And it was wonderful to see her again this year in her film directed by her son. And she's always a pleasure throughout the years.
Yes, and so Maurizio De Giovanni, who is a Napoletano, a real Napoletano, Sophia Loren is really for Napoli and for all the south of Italy the revenge ever, no?
Sì, Sophia Loren è sicuramente il nostro miglior biglietto da visita nel mondo. Non solo la sua bellezza, la sua immensa bravura, la sua straordinaria intelligenza e soprattutto il suo rimanere legato alle tradizioni e alle radici della nostra terra. Sophia Loren è sicuramente il più bel ritratto di Napoli che possa girare per il mondo.
Schiavo, three-time Oscar-winning production designer, as well as her husband Dante Ferretti. We are so proud of you, and we are so thankful to be with us tonight, Francesca. So the Oscars are 2 days ahead, and we have 3 Italians that are on for an Oscar. We have Laura Pausini, of course, with Diane Warren and Nicolò Aiardi for the song Scene. Then we have the costume designer Massimo Cantini Parrini of the Piero Tosi School. And then we have two magicians of the visualization, like the guy that is responsible for hairstyle, who's called Francesco Pegoretti, and the maestra of the hair, the makeup is Dalia Colli. So Dante and Francesca, you already showed 3 times an Oscar. I remember the night, Francesca, you dedicated this award, this prestigious Oscar, to Italy. I think that today, more than ever, we need somebody on the stage of the Oscar saying "Viva l'Italia," no? You need to open Francesca. You need to open the microphone. Wait.
Please unmute your telephone. I think you're using. There we go. Unmute it. There we go. No, the other button. The other button. Is lower.
Ci sei, Francesca?
Ecco, ok.
There we go.
Allora, girate anche il telefono in orizzontale, Francesca, così vi vediamo. Eccolo, perfetto. Oh, ok, vai. Allora.
Because look at all those beautiful awards.
Beh, vedi, si vedono anche qualche premio qua sopra.
Yeah, but speaking English, maestro, we can see the 6 guys over there.
So we see.
No.
Okay.
Pascal, yes, we hope that this time Italy will be great on the stage.
Mettilo un po' più.
Yes. So, what is the feeling when you go up there and you're ready to collect your Oscar?
But I mean, every time I was very, I didn't believe it. So it was a big surprise every time. And of course, I was so emotional, a big, huge emotion. But, and I was freezing inside me. I was like a piece of ice inside.
Yeah.
But at the end, we did.
Well, 3 times, Dante, eh?
Yes.
How many
what
nominations?
Can I say? We have, I have had 11 nominations and 3 Oscars. Francesca.
8 nominations.
Well,
other 3 Oscars.
So when did your life change? After the first Oscar or after the third?
No, I mean, you know, our life, we are not able to see you. Okay. I think that our life didn't change a lot, but of course, the first one, it was it was a huge joy. Because we didn't expect, because after I won the sixth nomination. Before winning, I was nominated 5 times, and Dante was nominated 6 times before winning. So the first one, it was something so special.
So when now you are asked to make a movie, do you feel the pressure that you have to win the 4th Academy Award?
No. No, I think that we did. But in any case, we never know.
Maybe I hope they give us another Oscar just for,
for the number? You like the number 4?
No, yes, because I like the number 4, and also because, because like it's honoring Oscar.
Okay. We
No,
will
I
see.
think-
We will see on Sunday night. We hope.
Francesca,
We hope. See.
Francesca, before we've been telling that the Maestro Renzo Piano did the new museum of the Academy. Is going to be there any piece by Dante Ferretti and Francesca Lo Schiavo inside to the museum?
No, not yet. No, but we will be at the.
I know very well because
No.
the new.
He said if there is some pieces about us on the museum. No.
No.
But we will. We
Gonna
are
be a beautiful
we will
museum
be guest,
without your pieces.
Will be Renzo Piano guest on the 30th of September.
Okay.
So
okay.
we will go to the opening, the big opening.
I see. So, Nick Vallelonga, how was the night that you jumped on stage and you grabbed your first of the two Oscars
You do remember
won?
that I told you before leaving the hotel, Pascal, viva Capri.
I remember. I remember, and I love you even more. So, Nick Vallelonga, how was your feeling when you grabbed the first of the two Oscars you won for Green Book?
No,
Wait,
it
Francesca, wait.
It was the Hugo. The first Oscar it was Aviator, and the third one it was the Hugo Cabret.
In the middle.
The other one it was the third one it was what is the
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd, yeah, Sweeney Todd.
Nick Vallelonga, you have to
Yes.
switch on your. Okay, perfect. So, how was your
Yes.
feeling?
It was very surreal. You know, it's the type of thing you don't think you're going to hear your name called. And it was Captain Marvel and Samuel Jackson were presenting the award. So Sam Jackson said my name. Very, you've watched this on TV your whole life. You people, even if you didn't think you would do movies, people watch the Oscars. What would it be like? It was almost dreamlike. You don't really, it was odd, very odd. But very great honor, obviously. And then the second one, we won for Best Picture, and I was a producer, so I got that too. And to have, I'm blanking on her name, Julia Roberts, hand me the award and give me a big kiss. That was when I went, wow, this is really unbelievable, and it's really happening. So it was quite an honor, for all the years of watching movies, loving movies, and never expecting to win anything. When I was making that movie Green Book, it just, to me, sounds corny. The win was that I got it made. I was able to make a movie honoring my dad and Dr. Shirley, and it got seen and people loved it. I never expected to win anything. So I think the only thing I ever won before that was class hypochondriac in high school. So other than that, I never expected to win. So it's amazing. Sometimes I look at them, I go, this looks like I bought this at a candy store. They're fake, but it was quite an honor, quite an honor.
So recently, Green Book was shown on Italian public television in free, and there was a big record of audience. I did not have the time to tell you. However, I want to thank you for several reasons. First of all, because you are making my job, as I cannot be in Los Angeles, you are doing all my stuff, and you and Andrea Iervolino are being phenomenal in supporting this event happening. Second, I want to thank you because you introduced me George Gallo, who is actually another great Italian American. I can see on your right also my brother Armando Assante, originally from Napoli. You heard his voice before talking about Sophia Loren. So George Gallo is the first time joining us, as well as my other brother Dito Montiel. And of course, I can see also Clayton Norcross, who's actually an Italiano adopted as well as Daniel McVicker is. So George Gallo, we are very proud to show tonight your movie at Chinese Theater, a special event of the Los Angeles Italia program because you are Italiano and because
Yes.
you gave the job to another Italiano, Roberto De Niro. Sorry.
Yes. 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 Thanks for having. It's an honor. Thank you so much. And Nick and I are old friends, so it'll be an honor to be at the festival and also to be there with my good friend Nick.
So
if I could say something,
where are you originally from, Italy?
I'm sorry?
Where are you originally from, Italy? Your
My
parents?
grandparents are from Calabria.
Oh, phenomenal. Very
Yes,
strong
Calabrese.
people.
Yes, Gabados, right? Is that yeah.
I didn't want to say it, but
no, that's all I used to hear as a kid, Gabados. That's all I used to hear. Yeah.
So, how is? How proud are you to be Italiano in your blood?
Oh, I love it. It's I have a lot of passion and a lot of fire, and I grew up in a very, very loving, fun, very, very crazy family. I think a lot of it gave me the. I think a lot of it gave me the ability to get through the crazy, let's say, rivers and waters of Hollywood. Somehow not take it all that seriously. I take the work very seriously, but all the craziness that surrounds it, I was just always pretty good with it. I was like, fine, whatever, just relax. I would think of my father and my grandfather, the way they used to talk to me.
Armando Sante, your grandfather came from Porto di Napoli. I know that you're very proud about. You have to switch on the microphone.
He went and got something to eat.
He's on mute.
There he is.
No.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Finally. Yes.
I was saying I couldn't agree with George more that I was blessed to grow up in a very incredibly loving and supportive environment, and I have such incredible memories of my my grandparents and my family, and there isn't a week that goes by that I don't talk about them. They made an incredibly lasting impression on my life, and it's been very powerful, very, very powerful journey. And I'm always very thrilled to come back to Italy and see you there in Napoli and Capri. It's been an amazing ride, and a great honor for me to be here today with all of you.
Yes, Armando, you are being so supportive. I mean, Nick is a recent one, but you are close to me since 1998. I remember the first time you came to support Capri Hollywood was 1998. We're talking about more than 20 years ago. So I cannot thank you enough. And I remember also you making a beautiful documentary about Capri Hollywood in 2001. We went to Gillo Pontecorvo house. You made an interview, and you also showed your poetry for Italy in this documentary. Now Capri is 25 years old. Los Angeles is a 16th annual event. Ischia will be the 19th. So how could we made such a great job? How was possible for you?
La mia vita il passo troppo veloce. It all goes by too fast. It's too fast.
Yeah.
But Pascal, all the work you did and all the people you brought together and the quality of minds and energy and heart and talent that you brought together in one room all these years. It's so powerful to be at those events because these are people I've watched all my life, just as all of you. I've watched all my life, all of you. And it's such a powerful feeling to know that you're in an industry that of such heart and mind and beauty and people that are illuminating people all over the world. So I thank you personally for doing that, Pascal, because I think sometimes you're always on the run and sometimes you yourself, you don't even have time to take stock of what you've accomplished. and the people that you've brought together. It's very powerful. So I, for one, I have a lot to be grateful for, just to have been there so many times with you. And I thank you.
No, I thank you. And I also thank Dito Montiel, who's, as you are the Capri ambassador, Dito is the Ischia ambassador. Because since Trudy Styler invited him to show his movie that Trudy produced, he could not stop to support me and the festivals. And I hope that this summer he can come one more time to Ischia, July 18, 25. You are all invited, Dito. So what do you think? Why this miracle could happen? 25 years of Capri, 16 years of Los Angeles, 19 years of Ischia.
You know, this Zoom feels so much like being with you in Ischia. You never know what's going to happen. I remember the first time when I showed up, you were like, you pulled a guitar out and you said, Sting is here, he's going to play one. And I don't think he knew, and you handed him a guitar. And then you said, and Andrea Bocelli is going to sing with him. And I was like, wow, who puts those two guys together on a whim? Only you. And that's how, just being on this Zoom, I had no idea. I click and all y'all are here. I'm like, wow. So it's kind of a test to you, clearly. Pretty fun world to be in with movies, of course. And you kind of bring that, which is not the norm always, you know.
Pascal, it's amazing. It's amazing what you do, and
no, my brother, listen. It's not me. It's Italy. I mean, Maurizio De Giovanni and Clayton Norcross and Daniel McVicker can tell you that being an Italian, you gotta be a chicken if you don't succeed, because being an Italian, you start with you know, like a 2-0 with the opponent. When I wanted to make Los Angeles Italia, I went to the past Coda Theater to host a show for Rai Television. Was the World Music Awards. I met the owner of the theater. I say, listen, I would like to make a festival. You are Italian, you're welcome. So you see, being an Italian is a great advantage. What do you think, Clayton?
Clayton, what does Italy mean to you?
Well, that's quite a broad question. It's become a second home. Ho imparato la lingua proprio nella strada di Roma, e in giro in tutta Italia, ce l'ho tanti amici là. E sono contentissimo a essere qui con voi celebrando la bella Italia. So it's even wonderful, after having not been able to go back to Italy because of the pandemic, of course, to just sit here and embrace the beautiful Sophia Loren, to embrace all of you, to say thank you, Pascal, for how you have brought the celebration of Italy to all of our American hearts and the world. It's a delightful country full of richness, romance, joie de vivre. You Italians, you teach us Americans a bit better how to live.
But Maurizio, essere italiani, bisogna essere proprio delle pippe, si dice da parte nostra, non avere successo nel mondo. Diciamo la verità, tu con le tue opere, col tuo lavoro, stai avendo successo ovunque. Grazie a Raycom i tuoi film e le tue fiction sono distribuite ovunque nel mondo. Qui a Los Angeles noi mostriamo sia i bastardi di Pizzo Falcone sia il commissario Ricciardi, e quindi è una gioia averti con noi.
Sì, ma sarebbe un sogno poter lavorare con attori di questo livello. Io sono incantato dall'incontro con attori del genere, una straordinaria professionalità meravigliosa. Noi abbiamo tanta fantasia, abbiamo tanta immaginazione. Loro hanno una professionalità veramente incredibile, e per me veramente sarebbe, ma per ogni scrittore sarebbe un sogno e sarebbe un grande orgoglio poter scrivere per questi italiani così lontano dall'Italia.
Dobbiamo riuscirci, dobbiamo fare in modo che, insomma, tu e adesso il prossimo next time that Nick is coming to Italy, Nick is working with Mediaset on Lucky Luciano project. I would like you guys to meet each other because I think that the combination between Nick Vallelonga and Maurizio De Giovanni we can have a great script to have Giorgio Gallo directing and Armando Assante or Dito can direct both, one of the, maybe the two together.
Sure.
And and Armando
I'll direct on Mondays.
Sarebbe un sogno. Sarebbe un sogno.
And Clayton Norris and Daniel McKeegan
A dream for
starring.
me and for any writer in the world.
Cheryl, this is definitely a special year. So we have been doing the festival at the Chinese Theater as promised, as well as on the platforms eventive.org and mymovies.it. 163 movies, 100 short films, and then all documentary and feature films. Well, the atmosphere in Los Angeles is not the same. We can see some image, facciamo vedere un po' di immagini di quelle così. In front of the past, we see the streets are empty. This is the Union Station.
Yeah, this is not the usual build-up to the Oscars with blocks blocked off and security and large golden Oscars in front of the Chinese Theater. This is at Union Station. It's just sort of normal, very quiet, but they're getting ready. On Sunday night, they'll be doing the Oscars. You see those tents there; those are part of the structure for the Oscars. And we're still not exactly clear where they're going to do it, inside the tent, outside the tent, other places. But the Dolby Theater, where the Oscars usually take place, right here on Hollywood Boulevard, will be filled with first responders. Not filled, but there will be first responders there at social distancing. So all the protocols are in place. We're all being safe for COVID, not to create some sort of a spreader event. And here, this is where the singers, the musicians and the artists, the musical artists, will be performing the songs at the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences there at Beverly and Fairfax, the former May Company building that Renzo Piano has redone for a new century of life to that building. Back here to Union Station, you can see not much is going on down there right now, but there'll be a lot going on Sunday night in a very controlled way. But at the Chinese Theater, the Los Angeles Italia Film Festival they're showing films in the cinema, which is a great tribute to Pascal Vicedomini, who we know there's no stopping Pascal. So this had to happen, and he's showing films in the cinema. Here today, George Gallo, your film, The Comeback Trail, will be at 7:00 p.m. Are you going to be down there, George?
You bet. I will most certainly be there.
And well, because he also has to receive an award, the Italian American of the Year. So, but Cheryl, before going back to George Gallo, I was saying, this is definitely a special year. How do you feel being the past president of the magic moment of the Oscar, to see all this situation? Imagine the sadness, but what is your specific feeling considering your experience in this type of event?
Well, it is a bit different this year. You're absolutely right. The fanfare, the public fanfare, if you will, is not there. I don't feel the excitement in the same way since I'm at home. But I'm very thrilled and excited for everyone who's been nominated. It's been an interesting year. A lot of conversation about the film industry this year, and certainly the Oscars. But wonderful films, and it'll be an exciting evening. Just a little different, but exciting.
They come a long way from the beginnings in was the Roosevelt Hotel where the first ones were held. It was just in a dining room and presented that way. So it's evolved with every need through the years. The Dolby Theater was created for the Oscars, and now during COVID, finding a way to do it, putting it together. Using the Union Station, I think, is a wonderful, very interesting idea where so many people came with their cardboard luggage to come to Hollywood and make their way. And now it's being used to celebrate motion pictures with this year's Oscar ceremony.
It's a beautiful venue, a beautiful venue. It'll be very interesting to see how it all unfolds. The producers have promised us an evening of Oscar celebration as if it were a movie. That I'm very interested in.
Wow.
And just seeing how they're going to put all the elements together to create a movie of the evening.
Do you think it will be political show, or will be more about the feeling
Movie making?
of each? Sorry?
Well, that'll depend, right? That'll depend on the speeches that the winners give. No one ever knows. I have to tell you, no one ever knows what's going to be said. So I'm assuming there will be speeches, at least parts of them, that will deal with the issues of the day. But we all hope that they talk about their craft and their enjoyment of being part of a team of professionals that put together a dream. And a dream is a movie. So that's what we all like to hear. I always want to know, how was it working with this one, that one, the experience? And like Nick was saying, you know, it's exciting to be nominated, but to actually hear your name being said is more than a dream. And that's what I like to hear about. I like to hear about the experience and their road to the Oscars.
So Armand, you won an Emmy Award. So what is the feeling when you are nominated and your name is on the ball to be selected for a major award? We lost your voice.
We don't hear you, Armand.
Armand, we don't hear you.
Might be on mute again.
Oh, there we go.
There I am back. I will say in my own life, thank God, I've never approached anything to think that I'm going to win an award. I've always had a great love of number one, the process, and I think number two, the process of working with my compatriots and my colleagues and making anything happen. To me, the most neglected thing in the world right now, I think a lot to do with economics, is the creative process. And to me, the greatest part of making any project is the process and the synergy that goes into developing something, because you do nothing alone. And often on a film, the guy who puts blood is as important as the guy in front of a camera. So it's about synergy and it's about commitment. And the greatest reward is when a team has had that kind of synchronicity and synergy together, and they're recognized for it. I never feel that one person does more than the other. It's such an incredible experience of teamwork. And I've been blessed in that I've had a number of very, very powerful creative experiences with immense talents. And I can't take it for granted. It's something that has changed my entire perspective.
I see. So, Nick, do you want to add something about this year feeling? You were at the Chinese for the opening evening, and of course you were, as usual, being a brother of the Italian cinema. You were wearing very professional your tuxedo. I'm sure you will wear it again tonight, but there is not much to celebrate. This was our choice. We did not have any red carpet. We did not have any music. We did not make any party, because this is not the moment to celebrate. It's the moment to make the industry go on and to make the people aware that art is very important to feed the people intelligence, no?
Well, I think it was a great. Hi, Cheryl. By the way, nice to see you. It was a very interesting experience. Different. Again, no one knows what you go through every year. It's amazing what you do. My toughest thing was I didn't fit into my tuxedo anymore, but I happened to get it on. I got to lose some weight to wear that again. But it was a very nice night. We gave the award to Eduardo Ponti for the film that he made with his mom. So that was nice, but it was social distancing. Everyone wore masks. The theater was, everyone seated separately. But the experience of watching a film together with other people, there's nothing like that. I mean, we could watch movies at home, and that's a great thing. That's a new thing we could stream. But that experience of being in a movie theater, and what you did, Pascal, you broke the barrier that it's okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to get back into the theaters. And I think that was exciting. And tonight, to have a movie directed by George Gallo, written and directed by George Gallo, that stars Robert De Niro and Tommy Lee Jones and Morgan Freeman, Emile Hirsch, big stars, to watch a movie like this on a big screen where it should be seen, a comedy. We need people in the theaters. I think tonight is another step forward. The fact that we're showing this film, George is allowing us to do it. It also helps because it's sending a message out to people that we're going to be okay. We got through this. We do the protocols. We'd be safe, but we're going to get back in the theaters where films deserve to be seen. And there's nothing like that experience. I mean, Ponti's movie is a drama, and you could feel it in the room, and people were talking about the film afterwards. And I had seen it on television, but it was not the same as seeing it on the big screen in the theater. So you have a drama that was dealing with social issues, and tonight we're going to have a fun, go for the ride comedy with big Hollywood stars. That's what movies are about. And by doing this, Pascal, you made a step forward in the right direction to show people we're going to be back, and we want to be back at the movies where we belong.
Let's pay attention of what you did on the opening night while I was here preparing all the panels we're doing through television. Let's see what you and Andrea Iervolino did on the opening night with Eduardo Ponti.
Very, very happy to be here tonight for two main reasons. The first one is because I think this is a very good hope for Italians, because I came here in LA on January 18, and when as soon as I arrived, basically was everything closed, and I was not able to go to eat anywhere. I have to you can only eat via takeaway. So in the end, now we are only in April, and thanks for all of the vaccine program, we are basically here the life is almost back to normal. It's not normal, but almost back to normal. And I'm so happy about that, because now by celebrating here Italy, Italians can see this, and it basically can be a good hope for the future of Italy. I'm very confident that before the end of the summer, life will be maybe 85% back to normality. And also I'm 2 times happy this year, because this year at the Oscar, Italians are absolutely a protagonist, one of the protagonists, because as you know, we have Diane Warren wrote a beautiful song, and she's a candidate, and our amazing Laura Pausini is the singer, and then we have, of course, Edoardo, and then we have, of course, Pinocchio. So I'm very happy because Italians this year are very strong, and I'm proud to be an Italian. And I hope I will have the chance more and more to represent Italy. I'm sorry I don't live anymore in Italy, but I come often. So thank you.
There is no question whatsoever that I feel much more Italian than American. America is where I live. America is where my kids are being raised. But in my blood, every cell in my body is an Italian-made cell. You know, I think that what you learn growing up in such a creative environment is that creativity is born from work, hard work, concentration, discipline, preparation, and all of this so that when you're there on the day, you can be free and create something magical. But that magic and that freedom is something that you've got to earn. It doesn't just come. And it comes through work. And this is what my parents taught me. I don't really like to talk about messages of movies because hopefully when you see the movie you get your own message. But I think that what is important for me is to write, direct, and tell stories that deal with issues of compassion, hope, humanity, disenfranchisement. I think it's very important nowadays to shine a light on all those people who have lived in the shadow of their prejudices, because we all deserve to be seen, we all deserve to be heard, we all deserve love, dignity, and empathy. Yeah, well, it was his first movie, and the trick was to find somebody who had the heart and the soul of Momo, somebody who had that humanity. And in Ibrahim Gueye, I found that in spades. He is a very talented young man, but even more than that, he's serious, he's diligent, he takes this job seriously, he prepares himself. And all of these things were key in order for him to be able to pull out such a performance his first time around. I am reading, I am writing, and as soon as I'll know, people will know. Well, there are a lot of wonderful movies this year, I think. You know, The Trial of Chicago 7 is absolutely fantastic. Mank is really, really beautiful movie. Nomadland is amazing. Frances McDormand in Nomadland really pulls out a truly spectacularly enlightened performance. I'm a big fan. So there are many, many wonderful movies. Ciao, Pascal. We miss you so much. We miss your smile. We miss your laugh. We miss your tux. And hopefully we'll be able to do this without you. I'm not quite sure it's going to be as special as it normally is when your aura, when your energy is here, but we'll give it a shot. And hi to everybody from this amazing festival. And we miss you and see you soon.
So, Los Angeles Italia Film Festival going live there at the Chinese Theater. That was from opening night, but tonight, The Comeback Trail, the comedy, is playing there. And here we have the writer-director, George Gallo. It's your film. You're going to be down there tonight. What is it like for you when you're in the cinema with people, not imagining what they're like at home, but in the cinema and both waiting for the laughs and hearing the laughter? What does that do for you?
Well, it's always a terrific payoff. You know, especially when you do a comedy, especially, you're like the first person laughing when you're writing it, and so I write these things, and I wrote this one. I co-wrote this screenplay with Josh Posner, but we would write these things, and then we would laugh, and then we would look at each other. Are we crazy? Are we the only people that think this stuff is funny? So it's always that risk, and we took some chances. See, I'm doing comedy right now. We took some chances, because some of the jokes are pretty off color, but we just kept saying, "Oh, let's do it." And I figured if Robert De Niro was laughing and Tommy Lee Jones was laughing and Morgan Freeman was laughing, then it had to be funny because we kept laughing all the time when we were shooting. But there literally is nothing like making a comedy, and this is a big farcical comedy, and to sit in a room and just hear everybody belly laughing. And then, yes, it is absolutely a phenomenal payoff. Yes. There's nothing like it.
And I have to say, as an actor, it's a little frightening for me because you're trying to kill the actor the whole time through the film. But he keeps alive. He keeps living, keeps coming back. So
yes,
we're there.
Yeah.
Dito.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just laughing at some of the scenes in my head. Yeah, no, I mean, and again, like everybody, again, everyone liked everyone so much during the making of the movie. I've been friends with Robert De Niro for over 35 years, and Morgan, I've done 2 other movies with. And Tommy was at first, but we just had a great time. I mean, we just kept cracking up. And we were like, let's try this, let's try that, let's try, and we just, the whole thing was just fun. And when it was over too quickly. We really, really, really were like, oh, it's all done. We really, really had a good time.
Dito Montiel, if I am unstoppable, organizing event, producing television, and all of the shows, you are unstoppable in directing movies. So what did you do in this period of difficulty with the pandemic?
Oh, writing, you can always do that, which is always, kind of fun. I kind of love it. So that'll keep you from going crazy or make you crazy. I'm not sure, but I love to write. So that's always been a blessing, through weird times.
But you didn't shoot any movie with your telephone. You didn't make any.
I would, man.
Shot?
I would. I was out in Humboldt County prepping a film, and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna go on hiatus for 2 weeks," and then, all hell broke loose. Unfortunately, it was tough times for a lot of people. So, no iPhone movie. I missed that one, but next time I'll be ready.
And Clayton, what did you do in Hawaii? Your Hawaii retire. It was not bad a place to be retiring in Hawaii. I saw you live in the jungle.
Yes. Hawaii has been a wonderful sanctuary. I've owned a home there for many years, and when Los Angeles basically shut down, it was a great place to enjoy God's nature, and it was very inspirational, actually. To be so close to the animals and to swim with the fish and the turtles every day, and just nurture that side of my soul. All these sorts of things we actors bring to the craft. And I've also been writing as well as my colleague there. It's essential to, I think, stay creative. And just now I've been back a couple of months. All of my auditioning has been online, but I got a feature film and a commercial already. So I'm feeling very fortunate as things are slowly getting rolling again, and the creative outlet seems to be restored and returning. So thank you for noting that. It's a delightful place, and I miss it almost as much as Italy.
Armando, with your incredible performance as John Gotti on the movie Gotti, you won an Emmy Award and you entered into the Olimpo of acting. And since the first years we became friends, I remember you were fighting the concept that you could go, instead of on a regular movie, on a television series. I remember your fights with your previous agent, Fred Spector, who actually became a dear friend of mine after a long time. I heard his name through you. And it seems you paid a big price for being very much faithful to the cinematic art instead of going on television. Do you regret for this idea you had in the late 90s?
Pascal, I've had an amazing life, and I've been lucky enough to live all over the world. I've explored film and documentary. In fact, I may be doing a documentary now. I've been so blessed to have worked with so many enormously gifted people that I don't regret a bit of it. I mean, a lot of people thought I was crazy. I kept going literally all over the planet. I've worked in places that nobody's been on Earth, but I've had an amazing journey. And I'm writing a lot too. I do a lot of writing. I have a pet project that I've been working on for a long time. But the process is everything, and the people I work with. It's very powerful. It's been a great time.
I see.
Did I go off?
Yeah, no, I understand. No, but I realize you are a real Napoletano, very man that doesn't change idea. And what do you think about it, Nick?
First of all, Armand Assante is one of my favorite actors of all time, so it's an honor to be here with him.
Yeah, me too.
We have to work together. Now I have to start writing as soon as we hang up to write him a part in something. What was your question, Pascal? What are you
That
asking?
Armand was fighting the concept that a movie actor should not change his career to go play TV show. Although this concept that Armand rejected was adopted by Al Pacino, for example.
Well, this used to be the actors for TV and the actors for movie was separate. I think with streaming, with when HBO started it. I mean, Armand sort of like was one of the first to cross over to do that. So, he was a big movie star, and then he went and did this. One of the first, made for TV movies that was made just to be on HBO. That he won an Emmy. He would have won an Academy Award had that movie been released. That's how great the film was and how great his performance was. I say that in front of him. I don't want to embarrass him, but seriously, that was a film, and that sort of broke a barrier that quality of film and performance and writing and directing and all of it, like he said, the combination can cross over to television. And that, I think, started the flow of making better TV films and getting actors that normally wouldn't appear on TV into television. And now I think it's just Dito can tell you that, Clayton, George, it's just a crossover. It doesn't, when you're writing, you're not thinking TV, film. It could work either way now with the way things are structured. But Armand's, that movie, Gotti, was a very important movie for HBO, and his performance is what took it to where it was. And I think that changed the way actors look at it.
Thank you very much. Coming from you, thank you very much.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Cheryl, so after being so skeptical in front of the platforms, the Academy this year finally recognized the importance of the existence of the platforms. I mean, due to the pandemic, also Netflix got a lot of success, a lot of money, although the stocking exchange now is going a little down because the pandemic is, thank God, is ending in some countries. So what's your opinion about? So we have to admit that the platforms now are part of our life, and do not recognize the importance of the platforms was a useless fight that was done before. Or you still think that cinematic art is supposed to be more protected in front of the invasion of product, of movies, of series that are done exclusively for TV series, for other devices, not cinema?
Look, a good story is a good story is a good story. And where forever, actually, up until a few years ago, it was determined beforehand, before I believe scripts were written and certainly produced, on where they were going to be seen, what platform they were going to be seen on. And yes, it used to be the old days when a theatrical actor or a Broadway actor would never think of doing anything for television. But that's all gone away, which I think is a really wonderful thing. I think, like I said, a story is a story. And the decision on where the public is going to see it, in my opinion, should not necessarily be at the forefront of writing a script. It might be for the writer, for the creator of a project, which is the writer, that they are writing it for a particular platform if they wish. So I think there's a variety, but all those barriers between television and film, theatrical film, and Broadway have kind of all blurred. And actually, I think that's a wonderful idea. I think it gives a lot more opportunity for writers, for directors, and for actors. So I applaud it all.
Right.
I see. Well, do you have anything to say about it, George?
Do I have anything to say about? No, it's more. The more opportunity, the better. You know what I mean? The more. A lot of times when you wrote something, you figured, all right, there were only so many studios, and after that, you had no shot of ever seeing it get made. But now it's like there's streaming, and there's HBO, Showtime. There's the studios still. I mean, there's so many venues now that didn't exist 10 years ago. So, I don't have the same sort of things haunting me when I start writing something, which is, I only have so many shots at the plate and then I'm finished, So no, I actually write more freely. And I also think that you can, a lot of times too, in the studio system, there were certain maybe subjects you couldn't tackle, because everyone was worried about hitting so wide a mark, whereas you don't have to now, you could be a little more specific, I find myself now thinking about writing things that I never would have thought about writing 10 years ago. So it's actually very liberating.
So Nick, do you also find the new landscape liberating for you as a writer?
Well, it's certainly, like Cheryl and George said, it's just opened things up. With me, fortunately, the pandemic, I was able to write. That's what we do. We're by ourselves writing. So I felt odd because other people are suffering and losing their jobs, and people are out of work, and but I'm able to do what I do. So that was fortunate for me. But it also, during the pandemic time, it was kind of depressing. I found it hard to write at the beginning. And then I just pushed myself. I said, you're a lucky person. You can do what you do. So, get off your butt and get writing. So I wrote a lot of different things. I was hired to write things. And then George and I have gotten together and written. We've wrote, I think, 1 or 2 movies, and we've written 2 TV pilots together. So it's open. It's like, well, your mind it could be a film, it could be a limited series, it could be an ongoing pilot. It's opened the door to many, many things. I did work with the media set in Italy on the Lucky Luciano miniseries that hopefully will go. So I'm spread out all over the place, but that's good news for people like us, that we have more venues and places to show our product and to get products made. And I think it's just going to get better and better as far as that goes. And I think the talent wise now, there's no, he's a TV writer or he's a TV actor. That's all gone. I think it's all the same. The quality is great across the board.
Dito, it's the same question to you as a writer, as up there in Humboldt County, hanging out. Are you feeling free? Are you creating new things, long form, short form? What's going on?
Oh, I just write, always. That's been my saving grace, starting on little napkins, and then, wherever it ends up. So yes, I kind of love it. But I'm not in Humboldt now, although that place is a trip. But I'm such a fan of y'all on here, and I, a friend of mine I'm so excited to see Comeback Trail. I got to say, a friend of mine, Patrick Hibbler, worked on it.
Oh yes, Patrick's great.
Yeah, and he said you were as great a guy as I'd hoped. So that's even.
Oh, thanks.
I'm such a fan. So.
Are you in LA? Come tonight to the screening. Cheryl, are you in LA? You want to get out, or are you staying home? What are you doing?
You're at the Chinese, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of staying home.
All right.
I can understand that too.
A little bit right now.
We'll get you to see the movie.
Yeah, good. I want to.
I like your guitars, Nick. Those are some great guitars behind you.
Yes.
He knows a guy who knows a guy. Wait, he is the guy, so he can get you in.
Nick, when Nick says that we've been writing together, he's telling a half truth. Nick and I get together, play guitar for 2 hours, and then we write for 10 minutes. So that's really, yeah.
So Clayton, you and Daniel definitely at your career thanks to television, how is it difficult for an actor coming out for a huge success on television to be trusted as a good actor in a regular movie? I mean, let's say in a movie that goes theatrical first before television, because the difference is that maybe when you start to be a movie star theatrical, then it's easier to go on television, and it's more difficult vice versa, or not?
Well, classically, that's been the choice that actors had to make. You know, when I started on The Bold and the Beautiful many years ago, I was aware that soap opera had a rather stigmatized reputation in Hollywood. However, the international market, where streaming is also very popular now, we're binge watching, and you know, television has, you know, as George said, you know, it's just transcended all of the old barriers, and I am just as capable of having the success that I did in television in film. The medium becomes very secondary, and that's a delight to see. I'm really glad to hear that the writers are finding it much more liberating, and things that they wouldn't have written before are now finding a voice and a much more expanded audience than perhaps cinema might offer. Netflix has gone everywhere. This platform has revolutionized the way we watch good work. So I'm delighted to be in the latter years of my career participating in an industry that's really morphed into something much more accessible to a broad range of people of every different talent. And I get to work with people that ordinarily I might not have. So it's a delight.
Great.
And you know, these movie guys, Clayton and I were on The Bold and the Beautiful, and we kind of got known from that at the beginning, but that was over 30 years ago. And he's had his career. He writes, he's in films, he does other television. And for me, I've been here in Europe in the past over 10 years for personal reasons. I have a little boy here that's growing up. And so I kind of detached from Los Angeles just because I was in Italy. And so I've enjoyed working. I love working on the set. I think any actor loves to go to work and to do our work on the set. And the work on the set is about the same, really. Certainly the material is different. The attention to detail is different. The directors are different. But we're at the service of the story. And so I've been fortunate enough to be at the service to the story in Poland with Jacek Bromsky. In Russia, I did a film. In Italy, I get to work in Italian and also in English. So for me, as an artist, as an actor, it's just really an interesting ride to go forward. I hope I'm not at the end of my career. I have hope for some other things in the future. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're projects, whether it be television, film, theater, and it got into our blood, and we're just, we can't help ourselves, I think. And that's why it's such a joy for me to spend time with you guys virtually as well, hanging out.
Can I say one thing? I only laughed because I think I'm at the end of my career every 10 minutes. That's why I laughed when you said that.
Well, I was good to get a laugh from George Gallo. I'm always happy to get a laugh.
Great.
So let's wait a minute before I leave you to your day. I want to show you a beautiful postcard I received thanks to my beloved friend of Netflix, Lisa Tabak.
Thank you, Capri World Institute, and their very prestigious board, chaired by producers Tony Raniz and Andrea Ervolino, and the festival's director, Pascal Vicedomini. Thank you for honoring the trial of the Chicago 7 with the Capri Hollywood Award Fest Film of the Year, as well as the Los Angeles Italia Best Movie of the Year. It's an honor, and I thank you on behalf of everyone involved with the film. I wish everyone a great year ahead and continued health, well-being, and happiness for all of us as we navigate 2021.
Sorkin will bring home the most important Academy Award of the night on Sunday, the best movie? Cheryl?
Cheryl, do you have a prediction?
No,
Oh,
I
good.
don't. I don't. I never do, actually, because you never know.
I'm always wrong. I'm always wrong.
You are not allowed to say that as a president, vice president.
Well, but
of
I
the-
never. I
of the
mean, even before, and I've worked on, certainly orchestrated many Academy Award campaigns, and you never know until the envelope is opened and the I don't like to say winner. The recipient's name has been mentioned, except for that wonderful, fateful year that I had to endure with an incorrect announcement. But things happen.
I thought it happened again when I won, so don't feel so bad.
But Cheryl, so going back to that night when Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway had a little problem in the envelope of La La Land and Moonlight. What is your feeling far away from that night?
At that moment, well, first, my heart went, I don't know, south somewhere down in my body. And it was an interesting feeling because time went very fast and very slow at the same moment. However, I felt that it was all resolved before the end of the show. It could have gone much, much worse. We might not have known until after the show. And then it would have gone on and on and on and on and on. But I will say it'll be in those clips every year about the Oscars. And people did talk about the Oscars quite a bit after it. But I, of course, would have preferred it not to have happened. But we're all human and mistakes do get made.
Nick Vallelonga, your Oscar Green Book came also out from a very complicated situation. You had a very tough opponent. I don't remember the title of the opponent of Green Book.
There were a lot of opponents. There were a lot of great movies that year. Actually, there was some amazing movies that year. And the one thing I never got a chance to say was, I never felt it was a competition. It was almost like that year, for some reason, it was everyone against everyone and everyone trying to tear everyone down. And I didn't get that. I mean, I loved every other movie that was nominated. I mean, I thought they were all amazing. It was a great year. Roma and A Star is Born and Bohemian Rhapsody and Black Klansman and Black Panther. I mean, and I'm probably leaving something out, but there were amazing films. So I couldn't get, I tried to mumble out something in my speech, but they were waving me off the stage because the time was up. I wanted to say there's amazing filmmakers here in this room. We should be supporting each other and loving each other and just let's all make some great movies, not attacking each other, which for whatever reason it turned into that year. But it was what it was. It was a tough fight, but I'm a big guy. I took some hits, but like in The Godfather, they say that I hit him with 5 shots, but he's still alive. He's still alive. So that's how I felt after that. I felt pretty beat up after that, but we won. And I think the Academy votes for the winner. And I was prepared to lose. I don't say lose. I was prepared for another movie to win. There were great movies. And I think that's what it needs. I mean, great movies are great movies, and the more films, diverse filmmakers, whatever it is, it's great for movies. So I was very fortunate and blessed that it turned out good for me. But those were some fantastic films, and I think this year we've got some great films again. I mean, who knows? I think we may have the first Asian female director, possibly. But Sorkin made an amazing film. There's a lot of great movies there. There's a couple female directors nominated. It's a great diverse year, and I think diversity brings more stories, different stories, and it's good for the industry. So, of course, I could say all that because I got the 2 statues sitting at home, so I don't have to worry anymore about nothing.
So, George Gallo, who do you think is going to win the Oscar? Our buddy Aaron Sorkin or the directress of Nomadland. So the Nomadland or Trial Chicago 7, although the latest hours, it seems that The Father and also the other movie are going up in the prediction. What's your opinion?
I'm horrible at this. The only thing I could say is I did say to Nick, if I could go on record as saying this, when he wrote the draft of Green Book and he gave it to me years ago, he said, "What do you think?" I said, "I think you could win an Oscar with this." He said, "Oh, you're full of," and I won't say the word that he said, but I did call that one. I don't know. I have a weak spot in my heart for Nomadland because I love those kinds of stories. I love the sort of existential tales that really take their time, and I'm also a painter, so I love imagery. And that movie just had just amazing imagery. That lonely shot of her walking across the desert and those dirt bikes coming across behind. I mean, I just love that stuff, you know. So it touches me. But so that's kind of where I'm leaning. But I also love Mr. Sorkin's writing. I think he's one of maybe the best screenwriter around, next to Nick Vallelonga. And you know, and I'm only saying that because I owe Nick money. No, I'm kidding. So I mean, look, again, to answer your question, I think my heart leans towards that Nomadland, but I could be wrong.
Do you have a favorite movie, Dito?
Oh, you know, I mean, I liked a lot of them. I don't know. I know that sounds like I'm just trying to drop the question, but I wouldn't have predicted the Knicks would win 8 in a row. So I don't know. Anything can happen. But I really loved White Tiger, and I was hoping it was going to get nominated. But
oh yeah,
it was a great. But there's so many great films. So I have a feeling Nomadland may win. It did have a sort of beautiful, lonely world. Just I don't know, stuck with me in that sense. But
yes, it sticks with you.
Clayton, do you think that Chadwick Boseman will win the Oscar as Best Actor?
Best Supporting.
Oh
No,
gosh, Best Supporting. I think he's got an excellent shot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very and Armando, the last question to you. What does it mean for an Oscar actor as you are who don't have yet an Oscar at home?
Who, me?
Yeah, I think having win the Emmys, and you are definitely an Oscar actor. So, of course, you deserve an Oscar. What is the feeling? You care, or award just don't care?
I think, seriously, I think any award that any actor wins, he is a representative of all the energy and synergy around him that gave him that award, because he's only the apotheosis of all the creativity that and energy in front of him, that he's responding to phenomenal creative energy all around him. So an actor really he's the summation of all the creativity and people around him. And that's really the way I feel about an award. It belongs to everybody. It doesn't just belong to the actor. The actor is the, I don't know what you would call it. He's the symbol of all the creative energy that he's been rewarded and given and replenished and driven by. So I don't know. I always feel that it belongs to everybody.
He could still get one. There's plenty of time. He's got a lot more movies in him. He'll get one.
Yeah.
We all are for him. Before hire him for a great job. But let's go back to Los Angeles, Italia. I want to thank you, first of all, Cheryl Boone Isaacs, George Gallo, good luck for this afternoon screening a Chinese theater. My brother, Dito Montiel, Clayton Norcross, the maestro, Armando Assante, Nick Vallelonga, the chairman, and again, Cheryl, I love you. And Daniel will tell you more about this today program at Chinese Theater.
Yes, tonight in the Chinese Theater, just a couple hours, The Predators, directed by Pietro Castellitto. And then George Gallo's film at 7 p.m., First, they're going to clear out the theater. They're going to clean it up, sanitize everything, and bring in your audience, George, for the comeback trail with Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman, and Tommy Lee Jones in a rather raucous, wild comedy. And then at 9:45 p.m., Bad Tales, directed by Fabio and Damiano
D'Innocenzo.
D'Innocenzo, così. Per cui, everybody who's in Los Angeles, if you want to get tickets, you can go online, do those. There's 25% capacity. There's some social distancing. But there's movies in the cinema tonight with the Los Angeles Italia Film Festival.
Yes, and also if you are looking forward something to watch, if you stay home, you can go on the platforms eventive.org or mymovies.it. You will find something very special with the Italian flavor. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye.